It's a sunshiny day here in Orem, Utah, as Utah Valley gets ready to take on Portland in baseball here. Game 4 of the 4-game set, final game. Danny Bettis on the mound taking his warm-up tosses as UVU takes the field here at Brent Brown Ballpark. I'm Jordan Bianucci alongside my partner Ryan Pickens. And today, Ryan, the Wolverines will try and win the series.
Trying to take game number 4 and for back-to-back weekends, win 3 of 4 in a 4-game series after taking the 3 last week up at Washington State. Let's go ahead and look at the starting lineups first for the visiting Portland Pilots. Leading off will be the catcher Brady Kerr, batting second the first baseman Eric Sapp. Caleb Whalen will be in center field once again this afternoon. He'll hit third. Cooper Hummel will DH and hit in the cleanup spot. Ryan Barr will hit fifth and be in right field. Cody Hawkin will be in left, hitting sixth. Kevin Farley at second base, bat seventh. Batting eighth will be Matt Kelly, the third baseman, and Michael Forgione, the shortstop, will bat ninth. Defensively for Utah Valley, Craig Brinkerhoff will be in left field. Mark Kruger will be in center. Justin Erlinson will be back in right field tonight, or this afternoon. Paul Estrada at third. Grayson Bogdan at short. Trevor Howell at second. Spencer Gothberg at first. Zach Willis will be behind the plate, and on the mound will be the right-hander Danny Bettis. Bettis on the season making his 5th start of the year. He's gone 2-2 so far with a 3.32 ERA. 21 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 12 runs, 8 of which have been earned, 13 walks, and 21 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 176 against him. He'll look to bounce back from his outing at BYU the other night.
First pitch, and we're underway. Fastball, strike one on the outside corner. First pitch, we get underway a little bit early, 11:58 a.m. Game time temperature, 55 degrees, but sunny, so it feels a lot warmer than it is, or rather than the temperature says it is. Here's a little looping liner base hit into left field over the head of Grayson Bogdan, and that's how this game gets started. Brady Kerr with a leadoff single.
And really, if you take a look at Danny Bettis the other night at BYU, Jordan, you and I were there, he just didn't have his sharpest stuff that he's had at other times during the year, and it'd be nice to see him get back into kind of true form as we get ready to these final couple of weeks before WAC play begins down at Grand Canyon. Bettis in that outing the other night against BYU went 3 2/3, allowed 2 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which have earned, walked 4, and struck out 4.
Well, he's into the stretch here as he throws over to first base, checking on Kerr. The batter is Eric Sapp, left-handed hitter, getting the start at first base again today for Portland. Again, Bettis throws over to first base. Danny will throw a fastball, a cutter kind of slider. Then he'll work in the curveball. It's all about fastball command, as it is with a lot of guys for Danny Bettis. Fastball, there it is, strike one right there on the outside corner at 90 miles an hour. Umpires today, it'll be Jeff Clough calling balls and strikes. Pancho Flores at first base, and third base umpire will be Lyle Mangum. Bettis checks the runner, a short lead at first for Kerr. The 0-1. Slider misses down low. Snap throw down to first base from the catcher, Zach Willis. However, Kerr back in safely. Sapp comes into the ballgame hitting only 175 on the season. 3 runs batted in, no homers. Sapp went 0 for 4 last night. Struck out twice. 1-1 pitch to him. This one gets by the catcher all the way to the backstop. Heading to second on what will be a wild pitch is Kerr. So not a great start here in the first for Danny Bettis. It's interesting. Bettis, now the count 2-1, he can locate that fastball so nicely on the outside corner and then just unleashes a wild pitch like that was supposed to go to the outside corner, but veered inside and away from Zach Willis's glove. 2 balls, 1 strike the count to Eric Sapp. No score, top of the first. Here's a bunt attempt, foul on the first base side, and the count's even at 2-2. Portland loves playing small ball. A lot of bunting, trying to get that man over to third base with less than 2 outs. Kerr, the man on second base, nobody out. Top of the first inning. Slightly open stance by Sapp. Now time is taken. It's Caleb Whalen waiting on deck. Utah Valley in their home whites, green caps with the green Wolverines scrawled across their chest. 2-2 pitch. Fastball down in the dirt. I say a fastball. That one was a cutter slider. Throw down to second by Willis. Back in diving safely is Kerr. Nice throw by Zach Willis from behind home plate. He tried to pick him off first. Now he tried to get him off second. Kerr taking a big secondary lead out there. Bogdan playing behind him. Everybody else pretty much straight away for the Wolverines. Even with the bag at third base, maybe a step in, is Paul Estrada. 10 to 15 feet off the bag. Full count, the pitch. Swing, line drive, base hit, one hopper to right center field. They are going to hold the runner at third. No, and it gets by the right fielder, Erlinson. Now the run will come into score. Into second base safely is Eric Sapp, and it's 1-0 Portland. So I don't know what happened in right field. More trouble in right field for the Wolverines. We've seen errors out there before. And this one, a base hit. The runner would have stopped at third. However, the ball was bobbled, and the run comes in to score.
And it's one of those situations where you get the baseball out there. It's easy to start, especially fielding that ground ball. So maybe take a quick glance up to see if the runner's gonna score, and just maybe that quick glance out there by Erlinson, he just misplayed the ball and it got underneath his glove. It's a routine. You would think it's routine, but out there trying to make sure to figure out where you need to go with the baseball. A tough play there for Justin Erlinson.
So Caleb Whalen will come to the plate with a man on second. Still nobody out as Dave Carter went out to the mound, the pitching coach for UVU, and now is trotting back to the dugout. So again, we saw Bettis at BYU last week had to work through a first inning error that cost him a run in right field. And again, it's like deja vu. He has to do it again today. 1-0, Pilots. Here's the pitch, the right-handed hitter. Slider misses down in the dirt. It's 1-0.
We saw Eric Sapp once again get this big lead, this big secondary lead, and he got kind of caught out there in no man's land. And I mean, it's going to happen eventually. Zach Willis is going to beat the throw down to second base. Portland's got to be a little more careful than they are right now.
Whalen, back foot on the chalk line. Back chalk line of the right-handed batter's box. Now a ball in the dirt again. Runner gets caught in between. Now takes off for third. He's out! A high throw, I should say, from Zach Willis. Estrada did a nice job to leap, grab it, and slap the tag on. Head first slide, and Eric Sapp is retired from the base paths. So Eric Sapp, I think, just got a bad read on that ball. Took a huge secondary lead. Corralling the ball in the dirt was Willis, and then he threw him out. Nice play.
Yeah, exactly, and that's really what you just take a look at what happened. I mean, he just got this lead and got caught in no man's land. It was like, well, I can't really go back, so I'll just go. And
2-0, swing and a foul tip into the glove, and it's 2-1. So Sapp is retired from the base paths. One away, nobody on now. 2 balls, 1 strike the count to Whalen. So that really helps out Danny Bettis. The pitch, swing and a miss. Nice slider down in the zone, and the count is 2-2. Nobody on, 1 out, 1-0 Portland here in the top of the first inning. The shift on for the Wolverines. Bogdan playing deep in the hole, shortstop, playing behind second base and to the left is Trevor Howell. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and he struck him out. So Bettis comes back nicely. First strikeout of the ball game. Fastball on the outside corner. Whalen could not catch up to it. 2 down.
you saw a different command, almost like a different pitcher there with nobody on base from Danny Bettis, and that's something to keep an eye on. It's a little bit tougher to pitch when you have guys on base, but if Danny Bettis can keep that command and keep that attack the zone mentality, it's going to give him a better shot to win this ball game.
Here's Cooper Hummel, left-handed hitter. First pitch to him. Fastball misses down and into the left-handed hitter. Hummel last night, 0 for 1. Scored 2 runs, however. He walked 4 times. Hummel hitting .375 on the year. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses inside, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. The shift now shifts over to the right side. Gothberg guarding the line at third base behind the bag. Bogdan, the shortstop, to the right of the second base bag. Estrada well off the bag at third base. He's the only man on the left side of the infield. Outfield deep and straight away. From the windup, Danny throws. There's a fastball down the pipe, 2-1. Portland in their alternate purple tops, gray pinstripe trousers, purple stirrups, and black caps with the purple bills. 2-1 pitch is a grounder up the middle, but right at Bogdan, who was playing him nicely over on the other side of the second base bag. Routine 6-3 put out, and the inning's over. So Portland gets a couple hits, a run. They leave no one on the base paths. 1-0 Portland. The Wolverines coming up. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Bottom half of the first inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University, where right now the Wolverines will come up here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's give you their starting lineup. Leading off will be the second baseman, Trevor Howell. Zach Willis is catching today, and he'll be in the 2 spot. Grayson Bogdan moves from the leadoff spot. He'll hit 3rd today. Craig Brinkerhoff will move up in the lineup. He'll hit cleanup. Paul Estrada will bat 5th. Mark Kruger will hit 6th today. Jesse Emery will be the designated hitter today. He'll be hitting 7th. Spencer Gothberg, the first baseman, 8th, and Justin Erlinson will round out the order and bat 9th. Defensively for the Portland Pilots in the outfield, it'll be Cody Hawken in left, Caleb Whalen in center field. It will be Ryan Barr in right today. On the infield, it's going to be Matt Kelly at third, Michael Forgione at short. At second, Kevin Farley. Over at first, Eric Sapp. Brady Kerr behind the plate. And on the mound, it's going to be the sophomore, Kevin Baker. Baker, making his 4th start of the year, has gone 9 2/3 innings, allowed 13 hits, 10 runs, all of which have been earned, has walked 6 and struck out 9. Opponents are hitting .325 off of him. He has an 0-2 record with a 9.31 ERA. So the 1 run in the top of the first, Jordan, might not be a big deal for Utah Valley if they can get those bats going.
Trevor Howell will try to do just that as he leads things off for the Wolverines. As you mentioned, Ryan, Trevor moving up in the lineup tonight. Last night, Trevor Howell batted, I believe, 7th. 8th was it?
8th, yep.
Thank you. I should. That's broadcasting 101. Look it up first before you say something. Fastball misses inside from Kevin Baker. Baker, 6'3", 215 pounds. Out of Pasadena, California. Howell, the right-handed hitter, open stance. 1-0, Portland leads. Last of the first. Ball misses down in the dirt, all the way back to the backstop, and it's 2-0. Whenever I see Pasadena, I always think of Tom Jackson at the Rose Bowl with the "Welcome to Pasadena, California." The granddaddy of them all. That's a terrible impression. First, or rather a fastball right there on the inside corner, 2-1. But, you know, these Sunday games are a little more casual. Give ourselves a little leeway in the booth. 2-1 pitch. Swing, ground ball to short. Fajon playing it nicely over there. Throws to first. Nice scoop by Eric Sapp at first base, and there's 1 away. I looked at the defensive chart there, and I go, oh, hit to Grayson Bogdan. Well, I put Grayson Bogdan at shortstop for Portland. He's good.
Don't think he wants to play
I don't think he really
defense
wants to do that. It's
for
not
both
a
teams.
pickup game. It's not where you have to make one kid do that the entire game.
Zach Willis, the catcher, will stand in now for Utah Valley.
First pitch to him, swung on and fouled off to the right side. So Forgione threw that one into the dirt, the shortstop for Portland. But as I mentioned, Sapp, nice stretch, nice dig at first base. 1 out, nobody on. Baker working from the windup. The right-hander delivers. Fastball misses inside, and it's 1-1. Baker will come with a mid-80s to low 90s fastball and counter it with a curveball and a changeup. Taking his time out there on the mound. Defense playing Willis just slightly to pull. 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses away, and it's 2-1. Zach Willis, of course, the hero from last night. Walk-off single. Part of a 4-run Wolverine ninth inning to cap the comeback win. He hit a ball right through the hole between shortstop and third base. 2-1 pitch. This one line drive into left center field. Willis will round first aggressively. Fielding it in left center is the left fielder Hawken. In there with a 1-out single is Zach Willis. Stay hot.
And once again, we just see a hard hit ball hit in that gap out there in left center field, and that's exactly what you want to see this time of year. You've had 14, 15 games under your belt for Utah Valley now, so now you're starting to get in a little bit of a rhythm. That's exactly what UVU needs heading into these next couple of weeks.
So here's Bogdan, the shortstop, hitting from the right side. Sapp holding on Willis at first base. Righty on righty, Baker into his stretch, the pitch, fastball, catches the outside corner, strike one. Bogdan hitting .329 on the year, 9 runs batted in, 3 homers. He leads the Wolverines in big flies. Shortstop Forgione pulled over into the hole. The second baseman, Farley, playing up the middle to guard against that steal if Willis takes off. Check swing. But the home plate umpire says Bogdan went around. No balls, 2 strikes to him. A man on, a man out, 1-0, Portland, bottom of the first. Willis has not attempted to steal a bag this season. Mid-sized lead over there. 0-2 pitch, swung on and hit well to left. The only question is if it will stay fair. It does not. Hooking foul. Bogdan really got a hold of that one, just out in front, but it's just a long strike. The count will remain at 0-2.
Kevin Baker there missing his location pretty good. Brady Kerr setting out low and away. Baker leaves that one up and in, and that's a mistake to a lot of hitters. You're going to get away with a little more in college, but if you progress through the levels, you're going to get away with that less and less, and I don't think Grayson Bogdan's not going to miss that twice.
0-2 comes high and inside, and it hit Bogdan, and he's hurting. I think that one may have got him on the wrist as he heads down to first base, and that stings. However, runners on first and second now for Craig Brinkerhoff with 1 out, and man, Bogdan's going to take a minute. That one really hurt. I think he got him right on the left wrist, it looks like. Fastball that was up and in. Grayson never had a chance to get away from it. Split-second reaction, tried to pull his hands back into his body. But that was a heat seeker, and it got him. So Brinkerhoff with runners on first and second here, 1 out. Baker will try to pitch for the ground ball, wants a double play. Wolverines trying to answer with runs of their own here in the bottom of the first as they trail 1-0. Wide open stands from the right side for Brinkerhoff. Baker comes set. The 6'3" righty throws. Fastball swung on and fouled back behind us and out of play. Brinkerhoff was right on that 89-mile-an-hour fastball, just a tad late. The infield playing about, I guess you'd say it's middle deep, not in, but closer to home plate than you'd usually see. Double play depth, you could call it. Everybody straight away. 1 strike the count. Breaking ball misses away, and it's 1-1.
It's one thing for Kevin Baker, one thing that can help him. He hasn't had a lot of his starts this year where he's gone very deep into ball games, and getting ahead in the counts and avoiding big innings is something here for Baker and really even for Danny Bettis. They're right now kind of in the same situation. Getting ahead in counts is going to allow you to stay in the game longer right now. Both teams really would like to see their starter go deep into the game today.
You always do. Brinkerhoff, with an even 300 batting average, takes a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. You always love to save that bullpen, especially at the in Game 4 of a 4-game set. Everyone's been used quite a bit in these high-scoring ball games. 1-2 to Brinkerhoff. Runners on first and second, 1 out. 1-0 Portland. Baker checks Willis at second, now throws, swing and a miss, a curveball in the dirt, and Brinkerhoff is down on strikes, 2 away. Go ahead.
Big out for Kevin Baker there, but you still have some good bats with moving Kruger down the lineup. You still have to deal with Paul Estrada. You have Mark Kruger on deck, so Portland's not out of the inning yet.
Here is Estrada, the freshman out of Long Beach, California, hitting .293 on the year. He had a nice game last night, especially defensively, but also at the plate went 1 for 3, scored 3 runs, had a walk. Right-handed hitter, has a man in scoring position here with 2 outs. The pitch to him, ball outside. It looked like Brady Kerr got crossed up there, and he's going to go out and talk to Kevin Baker and say, hey, here's what the signs are. You almost killed me with that fastball. It looked like Brady Kerr was expecting a breaking ball away, and he caught a shin-high fastball underhanded. That can really, if you get crossed up with a guy throwing 90 miles an hour, that's an injury will occur. Bogdan at first base. He was hit by a pitch. Zach Willis at second. He singled. Estrada crowding the plate. Open stance. The 1-0. Fastball misses down and away again. 2-0. Should Estrada reach, it would be Mark Kruger. No wind to really speak of in the early afternoon, just after noontime here at Brent Brown Ballpark. A few clouds, but mostly sunny skies. 2-0 pitch. Curveball missed outside, and it's 3-0 to Estrada. The Pilots scored 1 run in the top of the first inning on 2 hits and an error. Wolverines looking to answer. 2 men on, 2 men out. 3-0 pitch. Fastball right there on the outside corner. And it looked like Estrada, you would think he'd be taking all the way there. He may very well have been, but kind of, well, he tracked the pitch, I guess is what they call it. Really looked like he thought about taking a hack. Looking dead red here, though. 3-1 coming. Kerr sets up on the outside corner. Ball down low. Fastball missed. And the bases will be loaded for Mark Kruger. So nice job here in the first inning by the Wolverine hitters to be patient at the plate. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Kruger had a rough night last night, 0 for 5 with 1 strikeout. He's hitting .290 on the year. Tall left-hander. Baker working from the stretch with the bases loaded. The shift on to the right side of the infield for Kruger, the lefty. Fastball, this one catches the inside corner, strike 1.
Caleb Whalen in center field playing way over too in the right center field gap. There's a whole, almost a green pasture out there that if Mark Kruger goes the opposite way and puts it in the gap, all 3 runs are going to score.
Ryan Barr in right field almost guarding the line down there. 1 strike pitch, fastball high and away.
And really, I don't know if I'm Portland, if I want to really face Mark Kruger in this situation. I know he had a rough night last night, but he's getting to the point where he's due for a big hit, where you can just kind of tell it's building. So be interesting to see what Mark does here in this at-bat.
Nowhere to put him. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 men down here in the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Portland. Baker set. He throws. Ooh, fastball misses down in the dirt. Nice stop, a backhand by Brady Kerr, and it's 2-1.
The negative side to the shift that you see is You have Zach Willis right over at third. There's nobody holding him on. So he can get as big as lead as he wants as long as he can beat at this point, can beat Matt Kelly, who's playing shortstop right now, back to the bag. He can get a huge lead, and we're seeing that every pitch.
And I think Portland with 2 out have kind of given that to him. They don't care. Line drive, base hit up the middle. 1 run will come in to score. Bogdan rounding third. He'll be sent home. He'll score. The throw goes into third base, safely sliding in ahead of the throw is Paul Estrada, and Mark Kruger with a 2-run single, and the Wolverines lead it 2-1.
Right there, I mean, that shift just kind of, Mark Kruger doesn't beat the shift to the full extent right there, but I mean, Whalen wouldn't have gotten to that even if he was playing straight up. But just a base hit, he does his job, and then he has the alertness to see that throw goes all the way to third, and he moves up 90 more feet to second.
So Kruger with an RBI on the play. Here is the left-handed hitting Jesse Emery. We didn't see him last night in the lineup. He is DHing today. Runners on second and third. 2 out, ground ball right to the first baseman. Eric Sapp fields it on 1 knee, and the inning is over. However, the Wolverines do get 2 hits, 2 runs. They leave 2 stranded. We'll head to the top of the second inning. The Wolverines 2, Pilots 1. Ryan Barr to lead things off here in the top of the second inning. Wolverines 2, Portland 1. Bettis back out on the mound for Utah Valley. First pitch, fastball swung on. Blooper into right field, but it's going to hang up there for Ryan Barr. 1 away in the second. Cody Hawken will come to the plate with the bases empty here. So Bettis labored a bit in the first inning, looking to have a quick second inning here. Bogdan came in from short to have a word with Bettis, as did the catcher Zach Willis with the bases empty. First pitch swung on, chopped foul on the right side. 0-1 to Hawken. 1 down, nobody on. We didn't see Cody Hawken last night. The 0-1 pitch to him here, the right-handed hitter takes a fastball down and away. It's 1-1. The wind now beginning to blow lazily in from right field as we look at the American flag out in right center beyond the big wall out there. Ball misses down and away again, gets to the backstop, and it's 2-1. The center field wall is 10 feet high here at Brent Brown, but behind it you have the hitter's eye, or the batter's eye, the green wall that rises probably about 25 feet up. 2-1 pitch, misses down again, and it's 3-1. So Bettis having a little trouble locating here to Cody Hawken. Should Hawken reach, it'll be Kevin Farley either way with 1 out. Guarding the line at third, even with the bag, is Paul Estrada. Shift on, second baseman Hal to the left of the second base bag, and that fastball again misses down low. And Hawken is on with a walk. 2-1, the Wolverines leading here as we play in the top of the second inning. So here's Kevin Farley.
Danny Bettis just doesn't seem to have the same confidence that we've seen him have at other times tonight or this afternoon, and really that start against BYU, it seems like he just kind of got rattled a little bit. He's been giving up quite a few walks.
Throw over to first base. Hawken back in diving. From the stretch, Bettis throws. Fastball in there at the knees, strike one. Kevin Farley on the year, sitting only 179. He's only had 28 at bats, 4 runs batted in, including one last night. He went 1 for 4. Farley, the pilot second baseman. Even stance. 0-1 to him. Fastball. Ooh, I don't know where that one missed. Maybe just below the knees. And the count's even at 1-1. Bettis takes a deep breath. Exhales. Bogdan at shortstop, playing double play depth but pulled in toward the hole. Playing up the middle is Trevor Howell, the second baseman. Gothberg holds on the runner. Throw over again. Back in safely. Josh Kalunke making a quick appearance in the booth. Great to see you. The 1-1. 1-1 pitch misses down, or rather it is in there for a strike. 1-2. I knew he listened. I knew he listened in. Of course, Josh Kalunke, the father of Goose Kalunke, stopping by. Ooh, throw over to first, and just in there under the tag is Hawken. Nice move by Bettis. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Farley. A man on and man out, top of the second inning. Throw over again, this time not close. Bettis would love a ground ball here. A double play would get him out of the inning.
Hawken doesn't have a huge lead over at first either. You wouldn't think he's 4 for 4 this year on stolen bases, but you wouldn't think right now he'd go on a 1-2 count.
1-2, curveball, strike 3 called. What a pitch from Danny Bettis. That one was a beauty. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Danny, and there are 2 away here in the second. Bring up Matt Kelly. Curveball from up here. It looked like it just broke high. It looked like it was coming at, even from up here at Kevin Farley, and broke beautifully into the zone. And Farley froze. Here's Matt Kelly, the switch hitter, hitting from the left side, bent at the knees, kind of hunched over at the plate. The pitch, fastball misses in at 91 miles an hour. A good-sized crowd out for a Sunday afternoon here in Orem. Not a lot of fans, but Sunday afternoons are a hard draw here in Utah County. The 1-0. Fastball swung on, lifted foul, and behind us. And the count is 1-1. The Wolverines scored a 2 in the bottom of the first inning, answering the Pilots' 1 run in the top of the first. That's the score right now, 2-1. 2 out, a man on. Top of the second inning. Bettis working from the stretch. The Wolverine right-hander throws. That one just misses away. That looked like a cut fastball there, and it's 2-1. Maybe the 2-seamer. A sunshiny day. Everybody in their shirt sleeves in the grandstand. Bettis comes set at the belt. He throws. 2-1 is chopped up the middle. Ranging over to his right is Hal. He'll flip to second. On the bag is Bogdan. Nice play by Trevor Hal. Underhanding it to Bogdan as his momentum carried him into left field, and the inning is over. The Pilots, no hits. They strand a runner, no runs. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. Wolverines 2, Pilots 1. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Spencer Gothberg to lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-1, Utah Valley leads it. Back out on the mound is Kevin Baker for the Pilots. Game 4 of this 4-game series. The Pilots will head out of town on a flight back to Oregon after the ball game as a fastball misses away to Gothberg. It'll be Gothberg, Justin Erlinson, and Trevor Howell, 8, 9, and 1. The Wolverines sent 7 men to the plate in the first inning. Fastball misses low and away, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Gothberg went 1 for 5 last night, scored a run in the Wolverine victory. The Wolverines lost Thursday, won Friday, and of course won last night. 2-0 pitch, swung on, popped up right side. This one in right field, I should say. Carrying and drifting over to the line is Barr. He makes the grab just in fair territory. And there is one away in the second. Here's Justin Erlinson. Erlinson committed an error in the first inning, bobbling a base hit out there that allowed a run to come in to score for the Pilots. So he'll look to redeem himself at the plate.
Erlinson had a good night last night, reached base, I think, in all of the times he was up at bat, had a couple of nice walks as well. One of those things, a great guy to have in your 9 spot. If he can find ways like that to get on base, just what you want from a 9-hole hitter.
He's 11 for 30 on the year as he fouls this one back, hitting .367. Erlinson steps out of the box, readjusts his batting gloves. The 6 foot, 190-pound junior out of guess where, Ryan?
I'm going to go Bend, Oregon.
Bend, Oregon. Fastball catches the outside corner. 2 strikes, the count. Boy, did we talk about Bend, Oregon last night. And Lake Oswego. 0-2 pitch. Ball misses up and in, and it's 1-2. Ryan, of course, is from Oregon, and just discussing the topography and landscape in the beautiful state of Oregon. Does it really bother you when people call it Oregon? Here's one line down the right field line, foul, 1-2.
Not really. I try not to really let it bother me.
Bothers me.
It's
I'm not even from there.
It's kind of just interesting to kind of see the different ways people will pronounce it. I've heard, Oregon, like, G-U-N. I've seen Oregon. It just depends on who you talk to.
I want to point out one thing. That was the same. You just said it the same way twice.
Did I? Okay.
Curveball called on the outside corner. Strike 3, a beauty from Kevin Baker. And they're quickly 2 away here in the Wolverines' second. It'll bring up the top of the order and Trevor Howell. There aren't that many ways. You're grasping at straws there.
The biggest one is like you said is to pronounce it like Oregon or something like that, But it just kind of depends. I don't really have. I live in Utah, so
Stimulating conversation here. 2 away for Hal as he takes the ball down low. That strikeout was the first of the afternoon for Kevin Baker. Working from the windup, everybody straight away for Portland. Everybody except the second baseman, Kevin Farley, shading Hal up the middle. There's a fastball right there, and it's 1-1. Hal grounded out to shortstop back in the first inning. 2-1, Wolverines leading in the bottom of the second. Nobody on, 2 men out. A beautiful day for baseball here at Brent Brown. The 1-1. Fastball up high, and it's 2-1. A big gap in left center field as Waylon moves toward right center field, thinking Hal is going to go the other way. In fact, the right fielder, Barr, is playing very shallow and pulled way over toward the line. The 2-1. Fastball grounded right to second base. Farley shading him perfectly. Throws to first, and the second inning is over. The Wolverines go down in order. However, Utah Valley still leading 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. 2-1, Utah Valley leads Portland as we get set to begin the top of the third inning. It will be Michael Forgione, Brady Kerr, and Eric Sapp, 9-1-2 for the Pilots. Back out there, Danny Bettis, the right-hander on the mound for the Wolverines. And to tell you all about it, here is Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan, as Michael Forgione will get ready to head into the batter's box for Portland. The Pilots sending up 9-1-2 here against Danny Bettis here in the inning. As Forgione will stand in from the right side. Forgione comes in hitting .216 on the season for Portland. Last night had a pair of hits, a couple of stolen bases, and he's in there with a called strike, no balls, and one strike to count on Michael Forgione. Definitely a guy in that 9 spot for Portland that you want to keep off the base pass. Kind of gives you an extra leadoff hitter, so to speak. As the wind of the delivery comes home, Forgione takes that one about belt high, but it's a called strike, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Michael Forgione. Forgione has a couple of nice defensive plays, including that ground ball earlier back in the first. The 0-2 pitch, that one breaks off the plate for a ball, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Michael Forgione. Forgione hitting .417 this season when leading off for the Pilots. 13 for his first 51 at-bats. And the 1-2 pitch misses, ball 2. Count runs 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Danny Bettis was ahead of the count, 0-2, and now Michael Forgione's worked his way back to even it up at 2-2. 2-1, Utah Valley leading Portland in Game 4 of this 4-game series. The 2-2 pitch comes in, and that one's right off the plate, ball 3, and the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you're Danny Bettis, you don't want to lose him after being ahead 0-2. Bettis with the 1 walk earlier in the ball game. And the 3-2 pitch about to come home. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Forgione down on strikes. That is the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for Danny Bettis. And with 1 out, we go back to the top of the lineup and the catcher, Brady Kerr. Kerr had a single back in the first inning and then came around to score the lone run for the Pilots that came in the first inning. We haven't seen Kerr the rest of the series, so stepping in today for the first time from that left side. Kerr will stand in here. Had a single and advanced to second on a wild pitch before coming around to score on the single by Eric Sapp. And the breaking ball comes high and tight for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes here on Kerr. Kerr is senior out of Seattle, Washington. Started his college career at Bellevue Community College. Ready to go, the 1-0 pitch. That one low and inside, ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count on the Pilot leadoff hitter. A nice sunny day, some clouds in the area, but for the most part, sun is out. The 2-0 pitch is swung on, popped up. This one will go foul. And first strike there on Brady Kerr, 2 balls and a strike. Utah Valley will have the rest of the week off after today's game, and they'll get ready to play on Friday night, a 6 p.m. first pitch. The Minnesota Golden Gophers in town. Kerr lines this one right back up the middle. It's going to be a base hit right up through the box as Mark Kruger will return the throw in, and Portland has a 1-out single from Brady Kerr, his 2nd hit of the ball game, and now we bring up Eric Sapp. So Sapp had a single in his first at bat and then reached second on the air. He hit a ball out to right field, and Justin Erlinson just kind of misplayed it in right field, and when the ball kicked away, Sapp was able to move up 90 feet. Kerr gets his lead over at first base. Portland really enjoying that sacrifice bunt. We'll see here if they move the runner or not. Not bunting as Sapp swings through it and misses. It's no balls and 1 strike to count here on Eric Sapp. Portland came into this series as the pickoff move goes back safely was Sapp. Portland came into the series, they were 2nd nationally in sacrifice bunts. They've added a few here to that total on the season. I believe it was 16 coming into the series Thursday. Pickoff move, diving back safely. Once again is Brady Kerr. This Portland team likes to steal bases as well, and so Danny Bettis wants to make sure those Pilot base runners are kept very close. Shift is on. Trevor Howell more in that hole between first and second. Bogdan to the right of the second base bag. The pitch swung on line. Howell's not going to get there for a base hit. Erlinson comes up with it. Holding at second will be Kerr, and the Pilots have a couple of men on here in the third inning. Back-to-back singles off Bettis for Kerr and Sapp, and now it's going to bring up Caleb Whalen. Whalen went down on strikes in his first at bat, but had a really good game last night for the Pilots, including 3 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a single. Had 3 hits on the day. So runners will be on first and second with 1 out. A quick visit from Zach Willis out to Danny Bettis to try to see maybe if he can't make sure they know all the signs and everything correctly here, as Whalen will stand back in. The shift now moves from the right side of the infield to the left side of the infield. Paul Estrada playing about a step right off that bag at third. And the first pitch to Whalen misses low for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Cooper Hummel, the designated hitter, waiting on deck for Portland. Outfield playing pretty deep. Kruger a little bit deeper, a few steps back than usual. Brinkerhoffen normally likes to play a little bit deeper there in left. 1 ball and no strikes the count. The pitch comes in and Whalen fouls that one away. That would roll down into the bullpen, and the count evens here at 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Count moves to 1-1 here on Whalen. He'll look down and give some signs from Jake Valentine down in the third base coach's box for the Portland Pilots, wearing their purple tops and their gray pants. Bettis working here from the stretch, gets the sign from Zach Willis. Big hole on the right side of the infield, and that one's over for a called strike. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on on Caleb Whalen. Portland with 1 run on 4 hits here in the early going. They've been able to find ways to manufacture runs all series. Bettis ready to go from the stretch, checks the runner at second, delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up. This one's going to go into center field. Coming over is Mark Kruger. He'll make the play and quickly make the throw in before Kirk, and Kerr wasn't even going to try to tag up on that, and that's the second out of the inning here in the third, and now brings up Cooper Hummel. So Hummel got off to a slow start. Last season, Hummel hit below 200, and then this year just got off to such a quick start. His average right now is well above 300 for this Portland Pilots team, hitting 368 right now. 0 for 1 today, grounded out to Grayson Bogdan. That shift once again on, and Bogdan back in the first was played perfectly to that shift. It was hit right at him, just to the right of the second base bag. Fastball misses highs, 1 ball and no strikes to count on Cooper Hummel. For Grayson Bogdan, you had typically, if he would have been playing at his normal shortstop, I guess, position, you would say right now, he would be, that base hit in the first for Hummel would have been through and into center field. But because of the shift, didn't go anywhere. The 1-0 pitch, fastball misses away, ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes the count on Cooper Hummel. Ryan Barr in the on-deck circle for the Pilots here. Top of the third inning, 2-1 Utah Valley leading the Portland Pilots. Both teams scoring in the first inning and then putting up zeros in the second. Bettis takes a long look into Zach Willis, now checks the runner at second, gives him a long look, and now kicks and comes home. Time called as Hummel wants to step out of the batter's box. A late time given by our home plate umpire, Jeff Clough. Pancho Flores over at first base, and Lyle Mangum at third base, right now positioned right behind the pitcher in between second and third. 2 balls and no strikes. The kick and the delivery comes. Hummel pops this one up to second base. Trevor Howell's there. He'll make the catch, and the side is retired. So a couple of hits by Brady Kerr and Eric Sapp, but other than that, Danny Bettis shuts the door. We head to the bottom of the third inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley 2, Portland 1. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the third inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark as the Wolverines come up looking to try to see if they can't add to their lead in the third. It will be Zach Willis, Grayson Bogdan, Craig Brinkerhoff, 2, 3, and 4 due up here for the Wolverines. They'll face their right-hander Kevin Baker beginning his third inning of work. Baker kicks and delivers the first pitch. Willis swings and fouls this one back and out of play. No balls and a strike on Zach Willis. Willis in the first had a single to left center field, a hard hit ball that got the offense started. He came around to score on the Mark Kruger 2-run single. The 0-1 pitch, that one's lined to left field. Pass for Gioni into left field. So Zach Willis with his second hit of the afternoon there is another hard hit ball into left. And Utah Valley a chance to get something going here with Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan back in the first got a fastball that came inside and kind of tied up against his hands, and it just went right off his wrist. And once it did that, he got aboard and came around to score later on. Seems like the wrist is okay as he'll stand in here for his second at bat. Willis a pretty good lead over at first. Baker working from the stretch. First pitch to Bogdan, swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Bogdan wasn't behind that one too much as Bogdan had a chance there to see if he couldn't hit that one deep right there, but he came up empty. Infield up the middle, kind of at a double play depth, but Farley playing a little bit, step or two away from the bag. The 0-1's in there at 86 miles an hour for a called strike, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan comes into this one hitting .329 with an on-base percentage of over .400. Has been hitting leadoff for Utah Valley, but today will hit down in the lineup in that 3 spot. The 0-2 pitch, that one's going to be blocked in the dirt by Kerr, but it's going to kick away, and when it does, Zach Willis alertly heads down to second base on that pitch. They came in the dirt. We'll see if it's going to be a pass ball or a wild pitch. I would think with that one hitting out in front of home plate, it's going to be probably a wild pitch against the pitcher, but once again, Zach Willis able to move up, and he's now in scoring position. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 2 down, or nobody down, bottom of the third inning. Grayson Bogdan from the right side. Baker will take a step off the mound here. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Caleb Whalen shading a little bit more to the left field side there. Be 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Ready to go, Baker from the stretch. That one off the plate. Bogdan acted like he was going to swing and was able to hold up, and the count evens up at 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Grayson Bogdan. Time called as now Brady Kerr will go out and have a quick word with Baker here. This game, the pace of this one a little more slower than the first couple of nights here right now. It's both Baker and Bettis trying to work through some command issues here in the first couple of innings. Eric Madsen will pop down from the third base coaching box and have a quick word here with Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan will now stand back in the box. Great to be with everybody here on this Sunday afternoon. Game 4 of this 4-game series. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Baker working from the stretch. Takes another long look into Kerr. Now will check Willis, a pickoff move, and Willis dives back before the throw. As Kevin Farley made a late break for the bag there, and Willis wasn't going to take much time there to wait around. He was going to dive back very quickly. Willis with good speed probably could score on a base hit here. Outfield pretty straight away. Once again, we see Ryan Barr playing a few steps in right field, where typically they've been playing the first couple of games of this series. Baker checks the runner at second, ready to go. The 2-2 pitch. Bogdan swings and misses on the breaking ball for the strikeout. That's the first out of the third inning, and that is the third strikeout of the afternoon for Kevin Baker. And with one out, it brings up Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff went down on strikes back in the first with a couple of men on. Brinkerhoff has, as of late, been hitting the baseball pretty well. Seems to have found that swing back from a couple of years ago. Just hitting below 300, about 294. And the pitch, a breaking ball, comes inside and kind of stays maybe a little bit above the belt for a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes here on Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff struggled last year in the non-conference portion of the season, but played pretty well in WAC play. Seemed to kind of hit the pitching in the WAC a little bit better. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Brinkerhoff foul tip into the glove for a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sunday afternoon, just warm enough where you can take off the long sleeves to be in short sleeves, especially now as the sun has come out. Earlier this morning, the sun wasn't really out quite yet. It was still pretty cloudy here in the Utah Valley. But with a 1-1 pitch here, as Jordan informs me, that's called nighttime, but 2 balls and a strike. They count here. Jordan grabbing some lunch in between innings here. 2-1 the count here on Craig Brinkerhoff. Ready to go, Kevin Baker from the stretch. Whalen will move here, playing a few steps towards right field here. And the pitch to Brinkerhoff, low ball 3. 3 balls and a strike on Craig. Brinkerhoff should see a pretty good pitch here in this 3-1, just because typically 3-1 will be a fastball count. Baker looks in, gets the sign from Brady Kerr. Big hole off in left center field, but Caleb Whalen can cover some good ground out there. Brinkerhoff swings, pops this one up. Down the right field line, giving it a look was Eric Sapp, but that one's going to go foul down into the maintenance area, and we'll have another 3 balls and 2 strike count here coming for Brinkerhoff. So Kevin Baker's had to throw quite a few pitches. This is going to be pitch number 50. Pitch 51 for Kevin Baker through 2 1/3 innings so far that he's thrown. He hasn't been a pitcher this year for Portland that's gone very deep into ball games. 3-2 pitch. Brinkerhoff fouls that one away, and we'll have another 3-2 pitch. The overall series tied with these two teams now at 9 apiece. They last met in 2013, believe in Portland, where Utah Valley took 2 of 3. Count is full. Baker set, ready to go. The 3-2 pitch. Comes in, called, strike 3 on the outside corner. Froze Craig Brinkerhoff. His second strikeout of the day, the 4th for Baker. And with 2 outs, it brings up Paul Estrada. Estrada walked back in the first inning and then got stranded over at third base. So Estrada will stand in from the right side. We've seen him at third in the last couple of nights, and also came into the ball game on Friday night, late to pinch hit. So Kevin Baker really starting to settle in for Portland. 4 strikeouts in those 2 2/3 innings. Baker ready to go here. The first pitch coming to Paul Estrada, and that one misses inside and high for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The sun is out on this Sunday afternoon. Plenty of seats still available here at Brent Brown Ballpark. If you're in the neighborhood and want to come on out. It's a good ball game. 2-1 Utah Valley, bottom of the 3rd inning. 2 down. Conference on the mound. Brady Kerr will come back behind home plate here. Both catchers having to go out quite a bit to just make sure they're on the same page with the starting pitchers. Kevin Baker and Danny Bettis both having a few visits this afternoon from their catchers. So 1 ball and no strikes to count, ready to go. The kick and the delivery comes. There's a fastball on the outside corner. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Paul Estrada. Estrada hitting .293 on the season. That walk in the first doesn't count as an official at bat. He's done a really good job with his on-base percentage, just a little bit below 400. So they take hits and walks and calculate a percentage of how many times you get on base. Breaking ball misses away. 2 balls and a strike. So now we should see Kevin Baker have to come at Estrada in the 2-1 count. Generally, 2-1 and 3-1 are considered fastball counts, and so oftentimes pitchers will go to the fastball. Every now and then you see a pitcher comfortable enough to go to the breaking pitch in those counts, but generally fastball. Big hole off in left center field with Whalen shading him to right center field. That pitch misses, ball 3, and it's 3 balls and a strike as Baker came with that fastball at 88 miles an hour. Hawken in left playing regular depth. Whalen shaded towards right, and Ryan Barr playing once again shallow in right center field. That right field line and the left field line, the two shortest parts of the ballpark, so the pitch comes in and misses low, ball 4, and Paul Estrada has his second walk of the afternoon. So runners will be on at first and second, and Mark Kruger will come to the plate. Kruger back in the first beat the shift, had a single up the middle that brought home a pair of runs. And now there's a couple of men on here, and that once again you're going to see that shift come on here for Portland as they're going to move Michael Forgione to the right side of second base. Kevin Farley's going to move into kind of the in between first and second, and Eric Sapp's going to hug that line. Big gap sitting off into left center field for Kruger. Last time Kruger went just right back up the middle into center. Baker ready to go. The first pitch in at the knees on the corner for a called strike, and the count no balls and a strike here on Mark Kruger. Hawken playing pretty good out in left. Center field, Whalen playing really deep in right center field. Whalen can cover quite a bit of ground. We saw him and Grant Taylor go both into the gap last night on a baseball, and there's Kruger with a drive to deep right field. Going back to the track is Barr. He's going to run out of real estate. Gone. A 3-run homer for Mark Kruger, and Utah Valley goes up 5-1 on the 3-run shot. A touch 'em all for Mark Kruger, and right there, a way to put some distance, and with that, some action will begin to head down to that Portland bullpen as a visit out to the mound, and that's just what you didn't want to do with Mark Kruger. He had kind of struggled the first couple of nights in the series, but then the thing is he was ready to have a good ball game. 5 RBIs for Mark on the day, and now he hits his second home run of the season, and give him his RBIs, his second home run, and RBIs number 9, 10, and 11 with that shot. Actually, I should say that's actually up to 13 with the 5 RBI games, so that's 11, 12, and 13. And a right-hander begins to work down in the Portland bullpen as Kevin Baker's been tagged for all 5 of those runs as earned, and it looks like Greg Swenson's going to have a pretty long visit with him out there on the mound. As Jesse Emery, the designated hitter, will stand in. Emery out of Draper, Utah, will stand up into the batter's box. Emery rolled over on the first pitch right to first to Eric Sapp. That ended the first inning. Over at third, Matt Kelly's going to come in and play even with the grass as Emery swings first pitch and fouls it back. No balls and a strike. Emery has played in some games this year. 6 games played. This is his 4th start of the season. 3 for his first 14 after that ground out. The 0-1 pitch on its way up. It's going to be swung on, popped up foul. It'll be no balls and 2 strikes. Good to see Mark Kruger have a good ball game with that home run that he just hit back in the third. If you're just joining us, 5-1 Utah Valley. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Kevin Baker, the right-hander, working from the windup here. He'll come home, the 0-2 pitch right on the outside corner. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count on Jesse Emery. Spencer Gothberg in the on-deck circle would hit if the inning should continue for the Wolverines. The 1-2, the kick, and the delivery is the inside corner called. Strike 3. That's the 5th strikeout for Kevin Baker on the afternoon gets Jesse Emery looking. 3 straight Ks here, all 3 outs via the strikeout in the third, but Mark Kruger provides the power. A 3-run homer to right gives Utah Valley a 5-1 lead over Portland. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the 4th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Danny Bettis will take to the mound here to start the 4th inning, and now he has a nice lead here after the home run from Mark Kruger. 5-1 Utah Valley here on top of Portland, as now we'll get the middle part of the lineup. Ryan Barr, Cody Hawken, Kevin Farley, 5, 6, and 7 as that right-hander continues to throw in the Portland bullpen for the Pilots. Pilots this is their last non-conference series of the year, as it looks like it's number 13, Jake Hawken, the sophomore right-hander, getting loose down there. As the first pitch misses for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes on Barr. The final non-conference series for the Pilots. They'll head down to Los Angeles, take on Loyola Marymount next week. As fouled off, it's 1-1 to open up West Coast Conference play. This will be their only scheduled trip to the state of Utah this year. They share the conference with crosstown rival BYU, but BYU will make the trip to Portland. So this is their only trip to the Utah Valley this year. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Danny Bettis works from the stretch, kicks and delivers the 1-1, and that's going to be fouled away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Bettis' pitch count right now only at about 53 through 3 innings. So maybe a little bit elevated than what you would typically like to see, but a couple of quick innings here would be nice. Barr 0 for 1 flew out to Justin Erlinson to start the 2nd inning. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3 as Bettis challenges him with the fastball at 91, and Barr swings right through it. That is Danny's 4th strikeout of the ball game, and with 1 out, that brings up Cody Hawken. So Hawken walked back in the 2nd inning, but then was retired on a fielder's choice to end the Pilot threat in the 2nd. Shift will come on as Trevor Howell will now move up the middle just to play left to the second base bag, and the pitch comes in. That's in at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Hawken. Bettis seems to be settling into a zone here pretty well. The Minnesota Golden Gophers come in next weekend. The 0-1 pitch is grounded deep in the hole. Bogdan won't get there. That's going to be a base hit. They had that shift on, and Paul Estrada couldn't get there, and Grayson Bogdan couldn't either for the base hit. Nice hit by Hawken through the gap.
Yeah, you mentioned the Golden Gophers. Minnesota coming in next week, or rather next weekend, for a 3-game out-of-conference set. They're actually up playing a WAC opponent right now, up in Seattle, playing the University of Seattle in Bellevue. They have lost, in fact, Minnesota, the first 2 to Seattle in a 4-game series. Last night's game was rained out, and today they get underway at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. So we'll see if Minnesota can pull out a win. If Utah Valley could, even with a struggling Minnesota team, to beat a Big Ten school, it's a big deal.
Betta is ready to work from the stretch here and delivers the first pitch. That one's going to get off the glove of Willis into the backstop. So Cody Hawken will move up, and this one very easily could be a pass ball as it hit the glove of Zach Willis, but we'll wait to see because the pitch was kind of wild. We'll wait and see here what how they elect to score that, but nonetheless, it will be 1 ball and no strikes the count here on Farley. And yeah, you really ramp. Looks like some confusion in that Minnesota series and Seattle. I think they moved the location at one point and then switched it back. And so there's some confusion I was reading on that series up in Seattle last night. The 1-0 pitch fouled straight back, and it's 1-1.
Moved it for weather purposes?
I'm not sure. It was a tweet that I saw that Seattle baseball put out, and they just said, "Hey, sorry, the game, will be moved back to wherever." So I could be wrong. That could have just been, but that's just what I read. Sometimes you can't believe everything you read. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here as Danny Bettis works from the stretch here to Kevin Farley. And the pitch, Farley checked his swing and was able to hold up 2 balls and a strike. Some whack games already in progress, and that will save the out-of-town scoreboard for Jordan to give it to us later.
Yeah, there's not much action on it yet, as most games have yet to get underway. But we'll update you as soon as they do.
The 2-1 pitch about to come in. That one missing away, ball 3, as count runs to 3-1.
So, Ryan, we're talking about that Sunday game. Actually, today, the Minnesota-Seattle game has been postponed because of, quote, dangerously high winds and rain. So, not your run-of-the-mill rain out up there in Washington.
3-1 pitch, and Kelly swings through it. It's 0-2. It's 3-2. Yeah, supposed to get some really high winds there in the Pacific Northwest and that.
So what you were referring to was the game will be rescheduled at a different site, and they have yet to determine it, but they're going to play tomorrow. So Minnesota's going to stay out here. Out west, that is.
3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Bettis ready to go. Kicks and delivers. That one's going to be popped up and go foul, and it's going to stay 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Kevin Farley. So some of the fun that you get with college baseball sometimes get some different kind of rainouts in that, especially in.
Yeah, you start the season so early. In an El Nino year, nonetheless. What do we expect?
Especially some teams, and I know a lot of the schools in the Pacific Northwest put in that field turf where you can kind of play through some of that, but the 3-2 pitch about to come in. That ball's lined through the right side for a base hit. Coming around third, Cody Hawken will score. That's going to roll all the way out into right center field. Kruger is going to come up with the throw. It's going to be offline as sliding in head first is Kevin Farley with an RBI double. And that field turf, as we were mentioning, is kind of nice, but still with that, there's only so much rain you can play through on that field turf.
Yeah, the field turf handles the rain fairly well. Obviously, if it's raining, it doesn't matter. But we've seen a lot of college, in fact, maybe even most college fields now are getting there, are field turf. And in places you wouldn't even expect, like Texas and Austin, they have turf down there. And
Lubbock, they have it at Texas Tech, and that's got to get really hot, especially because those are schools that play in regionals a lot of times. As Bettis delivers the first pitch, there's a bunt that goes foul from Matt Kelly, no balls and a strike. And you get those regionals that are in late May after Memorial Day, when it gets 100 degrees in Texas. That field heats up pretty quick. I forget where I was watching one regional last year. I think it might have been somewhere in Texas where they had that field turf, and they said it was something like 115, 120 on the field, and I'm just like.
It reminds you of Busch Stadium in St. Louis when they had turf, and in Philadelphia, but especially in Busch Stadium in July, they would say that, man, down there it would get 110, 115 degrees. On the AstroTurf, that stuff was terrible.
0-1 pitch, swung on, hit out to left. Brinkerhoff going to go back a few steps. He'll make the play. Tagging and trying to get to third is Kevin Farley. The throw is going to be offline as Farley slides in safely.
Getting warm in the pen right now, in case Bettis has any more trouble, is Caden Schmidt, the right-hander.
We've seen Caden Schmidt in a starting role at times, and now getting used to working out of the pen here on this Sunday afternoon. And here comes Michael Forgione. And, there's a lot of talk, I would think, I'm kind of surprised in a sense, BYU and Utah Valley and University of Utah, some of these teams in kind of the Rocky Mountain areas hasn't considered that as an option. New Mexico State just put it in as well. So the pitch comes in, Forgione takes a called strike, 0-1.
Well, Utah Valley, I believe, has certainly considered it, and I can't speak to whether they are going to do it or not. I don't think that is known at this time, but they would love to. The difference with BYU and the University of Utah is they have full-time grounds crews.
Right.
BYU it's a private school. They have a lot more money.
0-1 pitch misses for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And they have a full-time crew that takes care of that field over there, and it's nice. They do a great job at Miller Park. And then the Utes, they play up at Smith's Ballpark, and the Bees full-time grounds crew, they work on that. So, and the players, UVU employees, and then a lot of the UVU players really take care of Brent Brown's grounds.
1-1 pitch misses high with the breaking ball. It's 2 balls and a strike. And I mean those are some other things to consider, because then you have multiple teams using the same facility, where it's not just one group saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, where you kind of have to get everybody on board. But definitely something that I think you're going to continue to see more of is out west and in the kind of Intermountain West, I guess. Ground ball right to Gothberg. He'll win the foot race to the bag, and the side is retired here in the 4th inning. So the RBI double from Kevin Farley puts one up for the Pilots. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 5-2 Utah Valley leading the Portland Pilots. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the 4th inning, beginning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It'll be Spencer Gothberg, Justin Erlinson, Trevor Howell, 7, 8, 9 coming up here for the Wolverines in the 4th inning, as Kevin Baker will begin the inning as he delivers the first pitch high and tight for a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. But the right-hander getting loose in that Portland pin, so if Baker struggles here, we could see the hook come. The 1-0 pitch about to come in, and that pitch misses low with the fastball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. 8, 9, and 1 due up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Gothberg will stand in from the right side. Flew out to right back in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1 on the afternoon. The 2-0 pitch is in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Spencer Gothberg. The last time that UVU this year will play a 4-game series. Now they'll be able to just play typically weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, except for a couple of times as that one misses low for a ball. It's 3-1. That Grand Canyon series in a couple of weeks over Easter weekend will be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday contest.
Yeah, just back when Utah Valley was in the Great West Conference, every conference series was a 4-game series.
3-1 pitch. Gothberg swings and pops this one up into shallow center field. Is Farley. He's under it. He'll make the play for the first out of the inning.
You'd play one game on Friday and then a doubleheader on Saturday and the matinee on Sunday. So Saturday, one game, usually they'd play 7 innings, but it was an all-day affair. You'd get here early in the, probably a late afternoonish. Well, an afternoon start and then 30 minutes between games, and you'd go again. So I think the players, I think everybody, maybe not the fans. It was fun. Saturdays were fun, doubleheaders, but they were brutal on players.
Justin Erlinson stands in. 0 for 1, went down looking back in his first at-bat in the 2nd. Misses away with a fastball, 1-0.
Not to mention pitching staffs.
We've had a couple in the last couple of years due to inclement weather where we've had to either move the game on Sunday or move a Friday game to a Saturday, and it does. I mean, it's an all-day event, which is fun, but at the same time, it gets rough on players. As that one in for a called strike, and it's 1-1. You just get tired. You go 100% in one game and then have to 30 minutes get ready to go for the second. Can get kind of tough.
That's why I don't think a lot of fans that we understand, especially at the major league level,
1-1 pitch. Erlinson lays a bunt foul, and it's 1-2.
how difficult and how taxing it is on a guy's body who plays in the big leagues, 162 games. That's when you really think about it, it's incredible. Everyone's dealing with these nagging injuries, and they're playing every day. It's
Well, and you get some of the minor league levels for sure, like the short season, like the Oramalis here, or in the Pacific Northwest. You have teams like in the Portland area, the Hillsboro Hops. They're playing a 76-game schedule in like 79 days. Erlinson rolls that one just a foul down the third base line. We'll have a 1-2 pitch.
yeah.
And so trying to get your body used to that, and then you have a few other things mixed in with long bus rides and that. I mean, that's not exactly the easiest thing to do, but I mean, even really at this level, you take a look at it, trying to combine your school work with your baseball and keeping your health up. I mean, it's a lot. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count. Ready to go on the mound is Kevin Baker. He kicks and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Erlinson bounces that one to first. Going to be a foot race to the bag. Erlinson, can he win it? Yes, he did. Diving for the bag was Eric Sapp, and Justin Erlinson's foot must have just went down as Sapp had to come off the bag there to get it, and there was no way that Kevin Baker was going to be able to beat him to the bag, and Erlinson just must have got him by about like a split second or something, because it was a bang play at first.
Yeah, an admirable effort there by Sapp to dive and try to get Erlinson before his cleat came down, but Sapp had to go a long way, as you mentioned, trying to get the baseball to his right and then back to dive on the bag.
Some people might have said Sapp should have let that one go for the second baseman Farley, but even at that point, that would have been a tough play for Farley to make, because he had a good distance to come as well. You see Farley playing closer towards the second base bag. If Sapp doesn't get that, I don't know even if Farley does get there. Nonetheless, Erlinson's safe with a single. Erlinson gets his lead over at first. He's 2 of 3 this year on stolen base attempts. Pickoff move. Erlinson dives back. The ball kind of kicks away from Sapp, but just bounces once or twice and then dies in the dirt there.
We've seen Sapp do a great job all weekend digging balls out of the dirt defensively. There's another one. Didn't quite dig it out, but kept it in front of him. That was a terrible throw in the dirt from Baker.
As now Brady Kerr will go out and have another conversation. Action going in that Portland bullpen. A right-hander not throwing constantly, but just kind of staying warm on the mound. And after an afternoon game like this, probably a little easier to stay warm than what we've had the last couple of nights, where it's cooled off quickly at the ballpark.
Yeah, that's still Jake Hawken out there.
Baker ready to go from the stretch, comes in. That one misses. Erlinson's going. The throw down got there, but it's going to be off the glove of Farley, and Erlinson's on with a stolen base.
Well, Erlinson caught a break there because he was going to be out by 4 feet. That was essentially a pitch out. The ball was so far outside, and then Kerr really just a bad throw, well off to the right of the bag, pulled Farley off, and Erlinson is in safely.
Erlinson's 3rd stolen base of the season. He's 3 for 4 now on stolen base attempts, and now he'll get his lead out at second. Yeah, Jordan, like you said, he was really fortunate there that ball got misplayed by Farley, because if not, he's out.
And it wasn't really even Farley didn't quite miss it. I think the throw took him further off the bag than it would have been possible to make a play on.
That one blocked there in the dirt by Brady Kerr. Good job to keep that one in front of him, as Erlinson will stay. Count runs 3-0.
It's kind of a dangerous play because the ball, if you're the second baseman covering, the throw down from the catcher's taking you into a sliding runner. And so a collision right there can occur, and that's kind of what happened, a minor collision, and the ball popped loose.
Ready to go on the mound, Kevin Baker looks in, gets the sign. And the pitch on its way is going to be in there for a strike. And it looks like it's 2-1, not 3-1. So a good job by Erlinson. And Portland was very alert that he might think about going to have not necessarily the full kind of pitch out, but a pitch that was off the plate made it for an easier throw for Brady Kerr. Erlinson gets his lead at second. The 2-1 pitch, high and tight. Howell kind of turns out of the way. And now the count runs to 3 balls and a strike. So a good hitter's count for Trevor Howell here. Howell with 9 RBIs on the season, hitting .333 for this Wolverine club. Hitting today in the leadoff spot for UVU. He's had some good at-bats so far in this series, and the 3-1 pitch. Howell's going to ground this one to short. Forgioni's right there. He'll make the throw across the diamond in time for the second out of the inning. Advancing to third was Justin Erlinson. Erlinson left the bag on that ground ball and then turned to look at Forgioni to see where he was going to go with it. And really, I think if Forgioni wanted to, they could have probably got the lead runner Erlinson there. But once Forgioni goes to first, Erlinson moves up 90 feet.
That was a really nice play by Forgioni because that ball was hit. I mean, it was a routine ground ball until it hit the lip of the grass and took a terrible hop, and Forgioni just stayed in front of it. And man, that's a tough ball to stay in front of you. That can come up and knock you in the teeth. But Forgioni's staying with it. He's been good defensively.
Greg Swenson going to head out of the Portland dugout. He'll head out to the mound here, and we're going to have a pitching change here at Brent Brown Ballpark. So the night for Kevin Baker is going to come to an end before he'll face Zach Willis. But right now, Utah Valley leads Portland 5-2 here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and get the numbers on the new pitcher. Right after this, you're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Wolverines lead 5-2 here in the top half, or rather bottom half, I beg your pardon, of the fourth inning. New pitcher on for Portland. It is Jake Hawken. Hawken, the 6'4", 210-pound sophomore out of Vancouver, Washington, went to Union High School. The right-hander, it's his 5th appearance. He has a 9 earned run average. However, it's a small sample size. He's only pitched 2 innings. Walked 2, struck out 4. Opponents are hitting, however, .500 against the right-hander.
So a tough task to have to come in the ball game in this situation with 2 out and a runner on third, and you have to face the heart of the lineup and Zach Willis first to lead it off. Willis 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles, one to both to left, one to more straight away left field, the other to left center. And the first pitch to Willis takes the fastball high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count.
Both base hits hit hard, and Zach Willis, he's heating up.
Has his average up to .327 for the Wolverines. The 1-0 pitch swung on, grounded to short. Forgioni backhands it, makes the throw across the diamond. Sapp picks it up out of first, out of the dirt, and the side is retired. So basically 2 pitches and 2 outs here for the new pitcher Jake Hawken. And we have played 4. Utah Valley leading Portland 5-2. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. We move to the top of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Brady Kerr in the top of the lineup, due up for the Portland Pilots as they try to see if they can't chip back in this one right here, as Danny Bettis is really, for the most part today, through 4 innings, has given up 6 hits, 2 runs, only one of which has been earned, was walked 1 and struck out 4, only at 69 pitches, so his first pitch to Kerr will be pitch number 70, so really in good shape right now to see if he can't get through another inning or two, as once again it looks like a right-hander continues to throw as we begin the 5th inning, and Danny Bettis is ready to go to work. And I'll send it over to my partner, Jordan Bianucci. Jordan?
Try that again. Thanks very much, Ryan. Here we go. First pitch from Bettis is a breaking ball in there for a called strike to Brady Kerr. Kerr, 2 for 2 on the afternoon. He's had 2 singles. Scored the Pilots' first run back in the first inning. The pitch to the left-handed hitter misses down and in, a fastball, and it's 1-1. Kerr hitting .323 on the year. Bent at the knees, open stance, no batting gloves for Brady. 1-1. That one swung on, liner into right center field. Coming over is the center fielder Kruger. He'll play it on one hop. In there with a single is Kerr. He hit that ball very hard, but unfortunately almost right at Kruger, who could get to it before it rolled to the wall. Leadoff man on, though, for the Pilots.
Mark Kruger already kind of shading him towards right center. Had he been over shaded towards left center, it might have been a different story there. But, I mean, just what you want from your leadoff hitter if you're Portland. I mean, 3 for 3. He's found a way to get on all 3 times.
Here is Eric Sapp. In these situations, Portland has bunted in the past, but down 3 runs. We'll see what they do here. The runner held on by Gothberg, swinging him, and a foul back to the screen, and it's 1 strike to Sapp. Sapp also 2 for 2, couple of singles. Hit the ball hard in his last at bat, a line drive through the right side. The shift on, Bogdan the shortstop to the right of the second base bag. The only man on the third base side, or left side of the infield, is Estrada. The 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball up above the hands. He actually foul-tipped it into the glove of Willis, and it's 0-2. Utah Valley 5, Portland 2. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Bettis peers over his shoulder at the runner. Short lead for Kerr over there. Fastball misses down and in. Wolverine fans wanted the strike call, but it was a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count. Jeff Clough today, the home plate umpire. A man on, nobody out. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back onto the rooftop. That was a fastball at 91 that got in on the hands of Eric Sapp. He did well just to fight it off.
It's good to see Danny Bettis being up around 75 pitches or so today. Still being able to get it up 90, 91. Sometimes you'll see that velocity kind of fall off when you get a higher pitch count.
Kerr, a very short lead over there at first, held on by Gothberg. The pitch swung on and foul tipped, and the count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. We mentioned Caden Schmidt continues just to play catch down there in the UVU bullpen down the left field line. 5-2 Wolverines, trying to keep the Pilots at bay. The outfield pretty much straight away. Kruger playing, or rather shading, a hair to the right. This one swung on and hit to left. A fly ball, but right at Craig Brinkerhoff. He takes a few steps in and to his right and makes the grab, and there's 1 away in the 5th. So Caleb Whalen will come up with a man on and 1 down.
It's a good job by Craig Brinkerhoff being at the right spot, be able to make the easy play, and a nice throw in. I mean, in that situation, just make sure you get the ball in quickly, but because Brady Kerr's not likely to tag out, but it's still a good throw in from Brinkerhoff.
Routine. Whalen from the right side He's 0 for 2. Struck out back in the first inning. The pitch. Runner takes off. It's a hit and run. Chopper back to the mound. On to second. On to first. Double play! No! No! They called him safe at second. I got so excited for no reason. I thought that was a group. Danny Bettis made a throw that pulled Bogdan off the bag and to the left, and he couldn't keep the evidently couldn't keep the spike on the second base bag. So Kerr is safe at second. The runner is out at first. Just a 1-6-3, one out, man at second base. Should have been 2. Bettis fielded that so well. If he maybe would have just taken a second more to gather himself and make a better throw, could have been 2. Here's the first pitch, fastball in there for a strike to Cooper Hummel. But give credit to Bettis. Those PFPs really paying off now. It was a nice job. That ball was hit hard, and he snagged it. Danny working from the stretch, peering in. Glove resting on his left knee. Now comes set. The 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Another fastball. This one at 92 on the outside portion. One down, one man on. 5-2. Wolverines lead it. The shift again on for the Wolverines with the left-handed hitter up there. Bogdan just playing a step to the right of the second base bag. Estrada about 25 feet where the cutout of the infield grass is over at third. The wind lazily kind of blowing in from right field at the moment as the afternoon wears on here. 2 strikes the count to Hummel. The pitch, swing, lifted foul down the left field line, well out of play. Gothberg is guarding the line down the first base side. Hummel on the afternoon, he's 0 for 2. He's bounced out and popped up. He's hitting .362 on the year. 1 homer. 13 runs batted in. 0-2 to him. Breaking ball stays up high, and the count's 1-2.
It's really impressive to this point in the ball game. You have 3, 4, and 5. Whalen, Hummel, and Barr. None of those guys have a hit tonight. Danny Bettis has done a great job working through that part of the lineup.
Waiting on deck is Ryan Barr, I beg your pardon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kerr with his lead at second. That one swung on, line drive, base hit, left field. This will score the run. Coming over is Brinkerhoff into left center to field it, and it's 5-3. The Pilots chipping away at that Wolverine lead. Hummel, nice piece of hitting, just went with the pitch on the outside portion, lined it into left center field. RBI single for Cooper Hummel. Again, a man on with 2 outs in the inning.
And I mean, this is a situation that is going to kind of, as a coach, has to drive you nuts. When the other team scores with 2 outs, when they have 2 strikes, those are situations you need to shut the door, get the inning done, get the batter retired.
Especially when you're ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You have a couple pitches to play with. That one just caught too much of the plate. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the inside corner, called for a strike. Ryan Barr, he's 0 for 2. Struck out in his last plate appearance. The right-handed hitter is hitting .312 on the year. Steps out of the box, looks to the third base. Coach for the sign. He has it. The pitch. Fastball up high, and it's 1-1. Third base coach is the head coach, Jeff Loomis, down there, I believe, for, looks like number 4, for Portland. Throw over to first base, back in standing is Hummel. Hummel on the year has stolen 3 bags. He's been caught 1 time. Actually, I believe that's Jake Valentine down there coaching at third. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. The runner goes. Pitch swung on and missed. Throw down to second. He's out. And a bit of a collision down there as the ball again thrown just to the right of the bag, but a good throw by Zach Willis. And the runner sliding in feet first, Hummel, kind of collided there. But the inning is over. So a caught stealing ends the top half of the 5th. We head to the bottom half. Wolverines 5, Pilots 3. It'll be Grayson Bogdan to lead things off for the Wolverines in the last of the 5th inning. Bogdan, Brinkerhoff, and Estrada. 3, 4, and 5 for Utah Valley. They lead it 5-3. Back out there on the mound for Portland in relief is Jake Hawken. Hawken working straight from the stretch with the bases empty. Pitch to Bogdan, misses away, and it's 1-0. Hawken will come with a high 80s fastball, mixing the curve and the change. Corner infield playing in. Swung on, fouled back to the screen. A fastball belt high that Bogdan wanted a piece of. One ball, 1 strike. Hawken peers in. Now the infield moves back. Swing, slow chopper to the left side. Coming in is Kelly. He'll have it. Throw to first. Dug out again over there by Eric Sapp. Nice play, and Bogdan is retired. It was a slow hit ball to the left of Kelly. He could have let it go through and let Forgione try and backhand it in the hole. However, Matt Kelly, I think a wise decision. It was hit so slowly he had to cut it off. Did so and completed the putout.
If he lets that ball go through to Forgione, Forgione has a good arm, but he wouldn't have gotten Bogdan at first. That was the only way to make that play there from Matt Kelly.
So here's Brinkerhoff. Base is empty, 1 out. First pitch, changeup misses down. Brinkerhoff, well, he's trying to avoid the golden sombrero. He has 2 strikeouts already today. Wide open stance. The 1-ball pitch. Fastball misses up high, 2-0. The second baseman, Farley, pulled up toward the middle. Shading Brinkerhoff to the right in center is Whalen. Everybody else straight away. 5-3. Utah Valley leading, bottom of the 5th. That one swung on and lined foul down the right field line. Falls about 20 feet foul down there. Hops up against the wall. And the count's 2-1. Estrada waits on deck. Brinkerhoff hitting .288 on the year. Brinkerhoff started in center field for most of last year, and this season has moved to left with Kruger moving to center. 2-1 pitch. Brinkerhoff tried to check his swing. He did not. On appeal, Pancho Flores says he went around, and it's 2-2. A fastball up above the hands there, delivered by Hawken. a calm, sunny day here in Utah County. Fastball, strike 3 called on the outside corner. Brinkerhoff thought it was a bit outside, but no matter. It's his third strikeout of the ball game. 2 away in the 5th.
That's one of those pitches. Sometimes you have to adjust to how the umpire's calling the game, and that's been a pitch that outside corner, maybe just a little bit off. He seems to be giving that to the pitcher. You have to be able to get that bat off your shoulders.
That is Hawkins' first strikeout in what is now a full inning of relief. Base is empty, 2 out. Estrada takes a ball way outside, 1-0. The third baseman, Matt Kelly, playing about even with the bag. Then he creeps in a little bit, playing well off the bag at first base, and just a few steps behind the infield grass is Eric Sapp as Estrada fouls this fastball back to the screen, and it's 1-1 strike. Mark Kruger waits on deck. Kruger has had a nice day. The Pilots would rather see him lead off next inning. 1-1 pitch. Estrada takes a fastball in the outside corner, strike 2. Some cloud cover now. The 1-2 pitch, swung on, popped up, high, and out of play. I don't even know, that one landed off to the left, I believe. The count remains at 1-2. Now the wind begins to blow in from center field. The Wolverines 2 runs in the first, 3 in the second. They lead 5-3. Fastball misses up high at 91. And the count's even at 2-2 to Estrada. Estrada played great last night and has played well today. He's had 2 walks, scored a run back in the third, the freshman from Long Beach, California. He's been good defensively, too. 2-2, swung on, popped up, shallow center field. Going back is Forgione. Now he's going to be called off by the center fielder, Whalen, and the inning is over as he makes the grab. The Wolverines go down in order in the 5th. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Utah Valley 5, I beg your pardon. The Pilots 3. It's UVU baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Ryan Barr will lead things off here in the Portland half of the 6th inning. Barr was at the plate in the bottom, or rather the top half of the 5th inning. However, the base runner, Cooper Hummel, was thrown out trying to steal second base. So Barr will begin this inning as he takes a ball outside from Danny Bettis. Bettis, the starter, has pitched very well for the Wolverines. 3 runs through 5 innings. Only 2 of them earned. The pitch. Swing and hit high into right center field. Ranging over is Kruger. He's not going to get it. He's going to cut it off on the track. Spin and throw to the cutoff man. In there with a stand-up double is Ryan Barr, and the Pilots have something going here in the 6th inning. That'll bring up Cody Hawken with a man in scoring position and nobody out. We should mention that the official score changed the play in the 5th inning. It was a comebacker to Bettis at the mound. He went to second to try to get the out there. Couldn't get it as the throw pulled Bogdan off the bag. that has been changed from a hit to an error on Danny Bettis. And the reason, you can't assume the double play, but had it been a good throw, it most likely would have been a double play. And I believe that was the official scorer's perspective, in the sense that it was, if the throw had been there, the out would have been recorded at second base. Strike called to Cody Hawken. Bettis into his stretch, checks the runner at second base. Dancing out there is Barr. There's a breaking ball called for a strike, 0-2. Hawken is 1 for 1 with a run scored. He singled in his last plate appearance in the 4th inning, walked in the 2nd. 5-3, the Wolverines lead Portland here. Throw to second, back and diving. Just ahead of the throw is Barr. The Wolverines have been out-hit by the Pilots, 9-5, and Utah Valley has made 2 errors in the field to none of Portland. But the Wolverines lead. The pitch swung on, popped high, shallow right field. Coming in is Erlinson. Erlinson near the foul line will make the grab in fair territory, bluffing as if to tag his Barr. He'll head back to the second base bag, and there's 1 away. Erlinson had to come quite a ways to get to that fly ball, pop-up I should say, but it was so high, had plenty of time. 1 away with a man on for Kevin Farley.
Oftentimes you'll see the base runners go back to the bag just like they're going to tag on that just to see what kind of throw they're going to get, because if maybe you're not paying attention, you make an errored throw, then they can advance.
And they want to coax a throw, really.
Right.
If you don't go back to the bag, Erlinson can toss that ball in. Instead, he has to make a strong throw to the left side of the diamond. Pitch to Farley. Fastball up high. And it's 1 ball, no strikes to him. Farley had an RBI double back in the 4th. He struck out in the 2nd. 1 for 2. Even stance from the right side. Bettis checks the man at second. Now throws. Fastball again misses high and away. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Caden Schmidt continues to play catch down there in the Wolverine bullpen. Bettis has thrown 91 pitches. So I'm sure Eric Mattson sent him out this inning just hoping he could get through this 6th. He's trying to do just that. A man on, a man out. Pitch. 2-0 misses down low, and it's 3 balls, no strikes, and Bettis is losing command of the fastball. So he'll try and pour one in here.
Now Caden Schmidt's going to start throwing from the mound here, probably getting loose, a little more ready now, not just playing catch. But
this is the 3rd inning he's been down there as a safety valve. 3-0 pitch misses outside, low, not close. So Bettis walks Kevin Farley, the 7th place hitter. So runners on 1st and 2nd now for Matt Kelly.
And this is one of these situations we've seen Portland lay down a lot of sack bunts right here. I don't know. I mean, if you lay down the bunt in this situation, could cause some confusion in that Wolverine infield as where they go to 3rd or 1st. So it might be something we'd see here with Matt Kelly, and Eric Mattson's going to make the call to the bullpen.
He is. With the tying run on first base, he's going to go to Caden Schmidt. So Danny Bettis, a nice outing. However, he's on the hook for 2 runs here in the 6th inning. We will take a break on WolverineGreen.com. The Wolverines ahead, 5-3 for now.
Top of the 6th inning. The day has come to an end for Danny Bettis. We can't quite close the line on him yet because the first 2 runners on base right now still belong to Danny Bettis. But Caden Schmidt, the right-hander, will inherit both of those runners. The sophomore out of Shelley, Idaho, will come into the ball game for Utah Valley. This is his 4th appearance. This is his first, though, coming out of the bullpen. His other 3 this season have all been starts. He's gone 8 1/3 innings, allowed 12 hits, 8 runs, 7 of which have been earned, has walked 5 and struck out 7. Opponents are hitting .333 off of him. He's got an 0-1 record with a 7.56 earned run average. So the right-hander from Shelley, Idaho will get the left-handed hitting Matt Kelly, and we'll see here how Portland wants to play this, whether or not they want to lay down the sacrifice bunt or they'll let the freshman swing the bat.
Well, Michael Forgione would be the hitter on deck should they lay down a bunt. He's the 9th-place hitter, but then it's the top of the order for the Pilots. 2 men on, 1 man out. From the stretch, Schmidt throws. Fastball misses inside to the left-handed hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Everybody straight away defensively for the Wolverines as the wind begins to blow a little more, or a little
Stronger?
little stronger, thank you, in from center field. The 1-0 pitch coming. Swing and a foul back to the backstop, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Matt Kelly. Kelly hasn't had an official at bat. He had a sacrifice fly to deep left center field back in the 4th inning. He also actually has 1 official. He's 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd. He hit the ball up the middle, and Trevor Howell, ranging to his right from second base, made a nice play to field it, backhand the baseball, and then underhand it to Grayson Bogdan covering second. That ball down in the dirt, and it's 2-1. The tying run at first base for the Pilots, that's Farley. He has pretty good speed. He's stolen 4 bags in 4 attempts this year. Of course, he has a runner ahead of him. That's Barr. Shifting now really a bit to left center in center field is Kruger. Big gap in right field, right center. Fastball misses away, and now it's 3 balls, 1 strike. A hitter's count.
A lefty beginning to get loose down in the bullpen for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that's Marco Briones. We saw him last night. On deck is a right-handed hitter, Forgione, but then it's 2 left-handers at the top of the Pilots lineup. Counts 2-2. The scoreboard said 3-1, but 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one chopped to second. Howell going to go to second. Bogdan can't turn as he just didn't have enough time. The ball was hit too slowly, but a 4-6 fielder's choice. The runner, Barr, advances to third base, and there are 2 away in the inning for Michael Forgione. So that's great for the Wolverines. It keeps the tying run at first base. Advancing to third, of course, is Barr. He led off this inning with a double. Forgione, the right-handed hitting shortstop, only hitting .226 on the year. He's 0 for 2 today. Struck out back in the 3rd. That runner at 3rd is Bettis's runner. Kelly at first base. Held on by Gothberg. The pitch. Forgione takes a first pitch fastball and on the inside corner. Strike 1. Grayson Bogdan pulled into the hole at shortstop. He's talking to Trevor Howell at second base. Howell playing up the middle. He would cover the bag should the runner from first take off. Schmidt set. Now throws to first base. Gothberg didn't apply a tag as the ball was low. He had to almost scoop it out like a grounder. Forgione on the year hitting .286 with runners on, .294 with runners in scoring position, .67 with 2 outs. So for whatever that's worth. 0-1 pitch, swung on, ground ball, up the middle, base hit. One run will come in to score. Kelly's going to try for third. Rounding second, he'll get there easily. In there with an RBI single. Michael Forgione, it's a one-run game.
And that's the one negative side there to the shift is if you have a regular kind of an alignment, Grayson Bogdan would have been up the middle. Still would have been a tough play to get Forgione with his speed, but Grayson Bogdan would have had a better chance at getting him right there had he been playing in a normal depth.
So Forgione comes up big for the Pilots. A nice clutch hit for the shortstop. And that brings the top of the order. The tying run now is at third base. That is Kelly. Here's Kerr. Kerr's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. Righty on lefty matchup. The pitch. Fastball. Ooh, just missed low and away. A big moment in this ball game. The Wolverines clinging to a 5-4 lead. The tying run 90 feet away. Forgione has pretty good speed. He's stolen, I should say pretty good. He has great speed. He's stolen 9 bags this season, only been caught once. See if he takes off here with 2 outs. He's held on by Gothberg, the lanky shortstop. Kelly with a short lead at third. The pitch. Runner takes off. Throw down to shortstop. The tag, no tag will be made. Forgione had it stolen easily. The runner never even thought about taking off from third. As Zach Willis behind home plate, he kind of paused. And so I think Kelly froze, and wisely so. Runners at second and third now. Now a base hit would give the Pilots the lead possibly. 2 balls, no strikes. Caden Schmidt has to come in. And he says, no, I don't. I'm going to walk this guy intentionally and face Eric Sapp on deck. So Willis calls for the intentional ball, 3. So with 2-0, they don't want to mess with Brady Kerr, who is red hot. Ball 4 is thrown outside, and the bases are loaded. So here comes Eric Sapp. Sapp has not been an easy out today. He's singled twice. He's 1 for 3.
There's just it seems like a little extra motivation as a hitter when you come up knowing they just intentionally walked the hitter in front of you. Seems to be a little extra motivation to come through. This is a clutch moment in the ball game to see if Utah Valley can get a much needed third out.
Caden Schmidt peering in. Bases loaded. The pitch. Breaking ball misses down and in. 1-0. So again, Schmidt, he really needs to throw a strike here. If you go 2-0 with the bases loaded, you're really giving that hitter an advantage. First pitch breaking ball, though, to Sapp. Let's see what he comes with. 1 ball, no strikes. The shift on for the Wolverines. 3 infielders on the right side. Kelly dances off third. The pitch. Fastball. No, another breaking ball. This one again in the dirt. Nice stop by Zach Willis. But it's not close. And the fans getting restless here at Brent Brown. Zach Willis trots out to the mound to have a word with Caden Schmidt. 2 balls, no strikes to Eric Sapp. He's hitting only .209 this season, but a big opportunity for him here with the bases loaded in a 1-run ball game. 2 outs. Slightly open stance for the left-handed hitter. Schmidt comes home. Swing, chop, foul into the Portland dugout on the first base side, and it's 2-1. Marco Briones, the lefty, he's ready in the pen for the Wolverines. Standing on the mound, watching intently. Two balls, 1 strike. 1-run game. The pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, not close. 3-1. A walk here means a tie ball game.
The hard part is 3-1. You're probably going to have to come with a fastball, and you're going to have to put it over the plate. And so it's kind of one of the situations. Getting ahead in the count, was a lot more that Caden Schmidt could do. But now he has to probably come fastball.
Backed into a corner. Sapp waiting. Now time is taken by Eric Sapp at home plate. Sapp will be sitting dead red, and it'll be interesting. We've seen a lot of breaking balls from Caden Schmidt. They've missed quite a few of them. Let's see, as you said, Ryan, does he come with the fastball 3-1? You almost think he has to. 5-4, bases loaded, 6th inning. The pitch. Fastball up high, walked him. Tie ball game. Didn't miss by a ton, just maybe a baseball size above the belt, and Eric Matson's seen enough. He's going to come out. He's yet to signal to the bullpen. There he does. And I believe it'll be Marco Briones coming in for the Wolverines. So we're all knotted up at 5. Bases loaded here in the top half of the 6th inning. 2 runs already in for Portland. We'll take a break. Have the numbers on Briones coming in next on WolverineGreen.com.
Top of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Pilots of Portland have added 2 here in the 6th inning to tie the game, but right now they have the bases full of Pilots, and all 3 have really good speed. And Forgione at third, Kerr at second, and Sapp over at first. The hitter is going to be Caleb Whalen, who is probably the last hitter you want up in this situation if you're Utah Valley, and he'll face the left-hander out of Los Angeles, California, Marco Briones. Briones on the season, we've seen him the last 2 nights, has come in 1-0 record, picked up his first collegiate win last night after picking up his first save the other night, has a 3.00 ERA, 9 innings pitched, 8 runs, 3 runs, all of which have been earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .242 off of him, and Jordan, he's in a clutch situation here where he needs an out.
Indeed. The lefty coming in to face the righty Whalen, interestingly enough. That first pitch swung on, hit to center field. Kruger gets a late break on it, now coming in, reaches up and makes the grab. Marco Briones gets the job done on 1 pitch. Portland leaves the bases loaded, however, the damage is done. They score 2 and tie the ball game. We head to the last of the 6th inning, 5-5. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. It'll be 6, 7, 8 for the Wolverines. Kruger, Emery, and Gothberg. Tie ball game here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon at Brent Brown Ballpark. Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens. A pleasure to be with you. Well, the Wolverines have been ahead most of this ball game. However, they gave up 2 in the top half. And we're all knotted at 5. First pitch swinging by Kruger, fouls it off to the left side onto the grassy berm down the left field line. Kruger's had a heck of a day at the plate. A single, an RBI single in the first, and then a 3-run big fly back in the third inning. The pitch, swing and a foul again off to the left onto the rooftop, and it ricochets back on to the diamond. So Kruger, being aggressive, is behind the first 2 pitches from Jake Hawken. Hawken, the right-handed reliever, in there for his third inning of work. He throws the 0-2, swing and a miss. And Kruger is down on 3 pitches, 1 away in the 6th.
Just kind of seems like Mark in that at-bat was trying to stay behind the baseball and try to see if he can get something to beat that shift. You just kind of tell a couple of those pitches he intentionally kind of waited on, and he fouled them off, but just wasn't able to get something in fair play.
Second strikeout of the afternoon for Hawken. So it's the left-handed hitting Jesse Emery. The Wolverines, it's interesting, they put 2 left-handers in consecutive, as the ball's fouled back out of play and behind us. Boy, I tell you, early on in the spring here, I'm rusty. I'll speak for myself. The play-by-play, they ask how it's going. We're getting into it. It feels like spring training here. They put them back-to-back in the lineup, and that really plays to the advantage of Portland. They can bring in a lefty to face 2 hitters. However, of course, there's a righty out there now. You don't see that as much in college baseball, playing the matchups as you do in the big leagues. Ball misses high, 1-1.
You'll see it a little bit more when we get into conference play, but
fastball way outside, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike to Jesse Emery. Emery's 0 for 2. He's bounced out and struck out. Spencer Gothberg waits on deck. Base is empty, tie game, bottom half of the 6th inning. The pitch. Swing, this one driven into right field. Now coming in, going back now, misplaying it was Barr, but has plenty of time to settle under it and make the grab, and they're quickly 2 away in the Wolverine 6th. That ball looked like it was hit pretty well off the bat, and Barr misplayed it, or misread it, I should say. Took a couple steps in and then had to shift and sprint a few steps back and to his right to make the grab. Base is empty, 2 outs for Gothberg.
I think the wind kind of fooled Barr a little bit on that one.
Yeah, the wind's just kind of lazily blowing in from right field right now. Ball in the dirt. Quickly 1-0 now to Gothberg, who's looking for his first base hit of the afternoon. Justin Erlinson is the man on deck. Defense straight away, shading Gothberg, except in center field. To the right is Whalen. That ball swung on and lined foul off to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Wolverines have been out hit 10-5 in this ball game, but it is tied up. Hawken throws, fastball up high. Gothberg on the year hitting .258, no home runs, 5 RBIs. 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball right there on the outside corner, strike 2. Portland trying to win this Sunday finale and split the 4-game series with the Wolverines. They're battling today. 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside, and the count runs full.
If you're Hawken here, this is not a hitter you want to lose after being ahead in the count. You don't want to lose him 3-2.
Payoff pitch. Down low. So he goes with the fastball. Wasn't close. Nice at bat by Spencer Gothberg. And there's a runner on with 2 down for Justin Erlinson. Erlinson, the 6-foot, 190-pound junior transfer from Bend, Oregon. Went down to Scottsdale Community College. Step 1 foot in the box on the right side. Looks down to third base for the sign from Eric Madsen. Gothberg, short lead at first base, held on by Sapp. Hawken checks the runner. Taking his time out there, now steps off the pitcher's plate and looks Gothberg back to first base. Playing in at third, but well off the third base bag, is Matt Kelly. Everyone else straight away. If Erlinson could pull one down the line, he could run for a while. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. 0-1. Erlinson, the 9th-place hitter, so it'll be the top of the order, and Trevor Howell should Justin reach. Erlinson singled in his last at-bat, just an infield single to the right side. The 0-1 pitch coming. Fastball just misses off the plate. Outside, and it's 1-1. Very quiet crowd here. Sparse crowd on hand for a Sunday afternoon between these out-of-conference foes. The outfield, not all that deep. Erlinson, no homers on the year. 10 RBIs, though. Hitting .375. Hawken, very deliberate on the mound, now steps off and looks Gothberg back. The Wolverines and the Pilots tied at 5 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Gothberg, the man at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Hawken peering in, still peering in, now checks the runner, comes set, belt high. He throws. Swing and a miss out in front of a breaking ball. Was Erlinson, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hawken, that looked like the changeup. He has a nice little change and a curveball. And kind of pulled the string there on Justin Erlinson. Gothberg, short lead at first. The 1-2 pitch coming. Hawken throws. Curveball, misses outside. Hawken was expecting that one to fall in the zone. He was off the mound and just a couple steps toward the dugout, thinking that could be a called third strike. It really wasn't all that close, and he stared into Jeff Clough as if to say, hey, where did that one miss? Count even at 2-2. Gothberg, the go-ahead run at first base. Big open gap in left center field. The pitch. Swing. This one popped into left, coming in hard and diving. Making the grab is Cody Hawken. A headlong dive toward the infield. What a play by Cody Hawken, taking a base hit away from Justin Erlinson. The Wolverines are retired in the 6th. No hits, a man left. We head to the top of the 7th. Wolverines 5, Pilots 5. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. We head to the top of the 7th. The Wolverines and the Pilots tied at 5. Back out on the mound in relief is Marco Briones, the lefty, who threw just 1 pitch to retire Caleb Whalen and leave the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Here in the top of the 7th, Briones will face Cooper Hummel, Ryan Barr, and Cody Hawken, 4, 5, and 6. And I'll send it over to my partner, Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan. As right now we see Cooper Hummel will come up from the right side of the plate. He's a switch hitter, so we've seen him from both the right and the left side of the plate in the series as a right-hander begins to get loose down in the Pilot bullpen. I'm not sure if maybe that would be for the 7th or not. And the first pitch to Hummel, he swings, makes good contact, but it's going to put that one over by the maintenance area. No balls and 1 strike on Hummel. Hummel's hit from the other sides today is hit from the left side of the plate, has grounded out, popped out, and had an RBI single back in the 5th, but then was caught stealing on a good throw down from Zach Willis. The 0-1 pitch coming in, that one missing off the plate, and the count evens now at 1 ball and 1 strike the count on Cooper Hummel. Ryan Barr will be in the on-deck circle. Ready to go with the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. On its way home from Marco Briones. That one misses low for a ball. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike here on Cooper Hummel. Infield playing pretty much straight away. Grayson Bogdan maybe favoring the middle now. He'll take a few more steps up the middle than where he was. So a big hole on that left side. Paul Estrada playing just off the bag at third. The 2-1 pitch, that one in there for a called strike. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Cooper Hummel. Hummel, Barr, and Hawken due up here in the top of the 7th inning. We're tied at 5 here between Portland and Utah Valley. Big gap out in left center field as Hummel swings, and he'll foul this one away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here, that one may have gotten down onto the road there. There's a road, if you've never been to Brent Brown Ballpark, there's a road that wraps pretty much all the way around the campus here at Utah Valley University, and it comes through kind of the main entrance to the school, just, I guess, north of the ballpark here, and there's a road that runs all the way around, actually the south of the ballpark. That one's ground up the middle. Diving stop by Bogdan. He's going to make the throw to first, but not going to be in time to get the runner over there at first, Cooper Hummel. A great play by Grayson Bogdan, but he just couldn't quite get there. Couldn't quite put enough on that throw to get the quick Hummel down the line. So now that's going to bring up Ryan Barr. Barr had a double back in the 6th inning and then came around to score a run as our right-hander begins to throw down to the bullpen for the Wolverines. A couple of other pitchers down there in that bullpen as well, but only one throwing right now for the Utah Valley Wolverines.
Yeah, that's the righty, Logan Hold.
Hold went about 5 innings in game 1 of this series. That pitch on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. That road, anyway, runs all the way around the campus, and it doesn't sit that far behind off the fence. I was driving up yesterday thinking about when batting practice was going to be, because it really wouldn't take much for a home run ball to hit that road as a car drove by. I wonder if that's ever happened.
I've never seen one hit the car, but I've seen one land on that ramp. That's that road you're speaking of. Beyond the frontage road that goes along campus is the on-ramp to Interstate 15. And Jace Brinkerhoff, Craig's brother, actually, would crush balls. And I've seen balls hit onto that road before. Never hit a car, though, at least while I've been here.
Well, let's not hope that starts today.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool, though.
The 0-1 pitch, bunt laid down. Briones is going to field it, tosses over to Gothberg, who applies the swipe tag in time for the first out of the inning. That's a dangerous tag to make because you're making that tag into a momentum, into a runner who has momentum. Sometimes that ball can get knocked out. So a sacrifice bunt moves Hummel to second.
Yeah, Gothberg was trying to field blindly with his left foot, or right foot rather, trying to find the bag. He never found it, and as you mentioned, he had to apply the tag.
Nonetheless, Utah Valley able to get the first out of the 7th inning, and now Cody Hawken will come to the plate. Hawken with a walk, a single, and a fly out to right in his last at-bat back in the 6th inning. Cooper Hummel with good speed, the runner on at second. The shift comes on again, and the pitch comes low and inside with the breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Craig Brinkerhoff playing pretty deep in left field, not too bad, maybe 7 or 8 steps off the warning track there.
You would think, listening at home, that's very, very deep, but left field is so short, it's only 305 down the line here at Brent Brown.
He's probably only playing around 290, 285 feet.
When we've seen guys play literally a step in front of the track, so.
That's not uncommon to
No.
see, and he's played back there about a step off the warning track at times this series. When Cooper Whalen gets up there, he'll be probably right up against that warning track. The 1-0 pitch misses away for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes the count here on Cody Hawken. The warning track really important to kind of give the outfielders an idea of where the wall is. That's really the point of the warning track, is so that way once they leave the grass and they hit the dirt that they know, hey, the wall's going to be pretty soon. So 2 balls and no strikes. Zach Willis goes out to have a quick visit on the mound with Marco Briones. Hawken hitting .300 on the season. Will stand in Hawken with 12 RBIs. Now Trevor Howell goes out to have a word here with Marco Briones. Briones working from the stretch. Willis back behind the plate, gets him the call. The 2-0 pitch misses low, ball 3, and the count runs full. 3 balls and no strikes. Not full, but the count runs to 3-0 here on Cody Hawken. I don't know if we can call that a half full count. I don't know. Anyway, 3 balls and no strikes, the count here. Kevin Farley in the on-deck circle already with the RBI double. And that pitch right on the outside corner called strike, and it's 3-1. Briones has worked the last 2 nights, not having a real taxing night either one, but he's been able to work well on the mound. 3 balls and 1 strike. The kick and the delivery comes. That one's right there again for a called strike. Very similar to the 3-0 pitch, as it just went right on the outside corner. And now the count moves here to 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Cody Hawken. Briones, the left-hander, leans in, has that bent over stance, now comes set on the mound. Hummel gets his lead, the pitch right off the plate, ball 4. And Cody Hawken draws his second free pass of the afternoon. And with 1 out now, that's going to bring up Kevin Farley. Farley had the RBI double in the 4th and walked in his last at bat in the 6th to also go along with a strikeout. So right now, pitching coach Dave Carter going to head out to the mound to have a quick word.
Well, I think Dave, one of the things he's going to say is to Briones is make sure to keep the ball down. A ground ball here, and you're out of the inning unscathed with that go-ahead run on second base. So the walk isn't all that terrible when you consider it does set up the force play and the double play. But Marco's going to have to come into the strike zone here to Farley, who's had a good day at the plate.
And that's the danger right now. There's really no place to put Farley. But Jordan, you're right. I mean, in that situation, first base is open. It's not like you're loading the bases with that walk to Hawken, and you do allow for a ground ball. Now you have the option to get the out at third. You can try to turn the double play. There's a lot of things that can happen now with the 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. So here comes Kevin Farley in from the right side. Cooper Hummel gets his lead at second. Cody Hawken at first. Really good speed on the base pass here for the Portland Pilots. That shift once again favoring the left side, and the first pitch is over for a called strike, and it's 0-1. In center field, Mark Kruger shaded towards right center, so a big gap out there in left center field. A ball out there would definitely for sure clear the bases. Briones got the first strike in there. It's 0-1. Briones gets the sign here from Zach Willis. Checks the runner on at second base. And delivers home the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away at the plate, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. So a good job by Marco Briones coming in the situation and getting ahead of the count here for the Wolverines, as they try to see here if they can't send the Pilots down and get up in the 7th and try to take this lead. Scheduled to play 9 here today at Brent Brown Ballpark, as is common in baseball. Every now and then, though, you'll see a doubleheader with 1-7 and 1-9. The 0-2 pitch right on the outside corner. Called. Strike three. Marco Briones comes back with a big strikeout of Kevin Farley, his first of the day. And with one out, Matt Kelly will come to the plate.
Farley did not like that call, and I think he has a case. From up here, it looked a little low.
And we're going to actually have a pinch hitter coming up to the plate. It's going to be number 23. That is Dylan White going to pinch hit. Here, he's going to hit in the spot of Matt Kelly. So we've seen this a couple times in the series where they will change where they actually pull Matt Kelly out of the ball game. And so now Dylan White will step up to the plate. White is a sophomore out of Vancouver, Washington, played at Camas High School. Will stand in here from the right side with two down. So a clutch situation here for White. Briones from the stretch. White is 0 for 7 this season. The first pitch is high. It's 1 ball and no strikes the count. Doesn't have a batting average, but does have a walk. So he does have an on-base percentage of .222. 1 ball and no strikes the count. The runners get their leads at first and second. Briones looks in. Time called by Dylan White, and he'll take a step out of the box here. Logan Hold appears to be ready in the bullpen. Boy, what a performance he had the other night, throwing 5 innings. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Ready to go. He kicks and delivers, does Briones. Misses. Hits the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 1-1. I thought that was off the plate, but apparently not, says home plate umpire Jeff Clough. It's a good thing we don't call balls and strikes from here.
Hey, speak for yourself.
1 ball and 1 strike. The count here. Runners get their leads.
It's funny, I went down in between, or rather earlier in the ball game, and sat down close just to get a different perspective, and it's funny to listen to all of the fans. You have about, 250 umpires here today.
Can you imagine trying to get all 250 of them to agree on a call? 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Here's the wind, the delivery home from Briones. That one's right on the outside corner for a called strike. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Briones here in the 7th has done a great job of getting ahead in the count, especially here on these last couple of hitters that he's faced with a couple of men on. Cooper Hummel, the runner at second. Cody Whalen, the runner at first. We're tied at 5 in the top of the 7th inning with 2 down. Portland's 2 of 7, hitting with 2 outs on the day. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Marco Briones, back-to-back strikeouts. Very big. He's got 2 strikeouts on the afternoon, and it's time to stand and stretch here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and we're tied at 7. Trevor Howell, Zach Willis, Grayson Bogdan come up to try to break the tie. We'll see what they can do. Will the Wolverines have the lead at the end of the 7th? We'll find out after the break here on WolverineGreen.com.
Tie game back here on WolverineGreen.com in the middle of the 7th. A few changes to make note of. New third baseman on for Portland. It's going to be Dan Whitaker, a defensive replacement, as Matt Kelly was pinch hit for in the top half of this inning. A new pitcher on for Portland. It's Marty Luckenbach. Luckenbach on the year This is his 6th appearance. He's 2-0, has a 4.26 earned run average, has pitched 6 1/3 innings, walked 5 men, struck out 6. Opponents are hitting 250, and he'll face the top of the order here for the Wolverines.
Lukenbach came in to throw, I believe it was in Friday night's contest, and that one inside for a ball at Trevor Howell, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. So it will be Howell, Willis, and Bogdan here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Ready to go, the 1-0 pitch on its way. Howell swings and pops this one up down the line. Sapp will give it a look, but it will go off into the maintenance area, and the count will even up now at 1-1 on Howell. Howell moved up today into that leadoff spot for the Wolverines. 0 for 3 with all 3 ground outs, twice to short and once to second. The 1-1 pitch is going to be swung on and popped up. This is going to go into the outfield. Coming in is Ryan Barr, but going out, the second baseman Kevin Farley has it for the first out of the 7th inning. So with 1 away, it's going to bring up Zach Willis. Willis having a really nice game with a couple of hits earlier in the ball game with a couple of runs scored. Then it grounded out to Michael Forgione in his last at bat. See if Willis can get it going once again here. So Willis ready to go, stands in from the right side. Lukenbach kicks and delivers, and Willis swings first pitch, sends this one down the line. Will it stay fair? It is going to go foul down the line. A little too much cut on that baseball there. Willis did a nice job, made good contact with it, and hit it well, but just couldn't keep it fair down the line. So we thank Jordan for getting those changes made for us here. Dan Whitaker now in the ball game at third. We saw Whitaker late in the game Friday as well. Lukenbach delivers. That one swung on and fouled straight back. It'll be no balls and 2 strikes to count here on Zach Willis. Wolverines back at home on Friday night, 6 p.m. first pitch. The Minnesota Golden Gophers come in from Big Ten country. Utah Valley has already seen Minnesota once this year. The 0-2 pitch, Willis takes this one blocked in the dirt, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. They played down in Surprise to open the season the same time that they did in that Oregon State. It was the same day as that Oregon State game against the Golden Gophers. It was the morning game. They played at 10 against Minnesota and then played at 2 against the Oregon State Beavers. As the 1-2 pitch swung out and missed, strike 3, and Zach Willis down swinging here in the 7th inning. The first strikeout of the ball game for Lukenbach, and with 2 outs, it's going to bring up Grayson Bogdan. In that game against Minnesota, the Golden Gophers used a 4-run 5th inning to kind of open that one up in the 8-2 victory. It was Jake Mayer who actually got the start for Utah Valley in that one. He ended up taking the loss. Dalton Sawyer got the win for the Golden Gophers. But then the day got better as Bogdan swings, hits this one out deep into the left field gap. Whalen runs over, gets under it, makes the play, and the side is retired. So down go the Wolverines in order here in the 7th. We've played 7 here at Brent Brown Ballpark. We're tied at 5 here on WolverineGreen.com. It's Portland and Utah Valley University Baseball. Top of the 8th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark, and we are tied at 5. The Portland Pilots out of the West Coast Conference in town for the final game of a 4-game weekend series that started on Thursday night with a Pilots victory. Utah Valley fought back on Friday night to win, and then last night coming from behind with the walk-off single by Zach Willis, and Utah Valley trying to close out the series here with a win. But we're tied at 5 as we head to the 8th inning. Michael Forgione to stand in and lead it off from the right side of the plate. Marco Briones kicks and delivers the first pitch inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. It'll be Michael Forgione, Brady Kerr, Eric Sapp, 9, 1, and 2 coming up. Part of the lineup that has 7 hits in the ball game. 7 of the 11 hits for the Pilots coming through 9 through 2 in the lineup. 1-0 pitch on its way, misses low, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Bullpen's quiet for Utah Valley, but now it looks like a right-hander going to start to get up down there again. I believe that's Logan Hold. 2-0 pitch on its way right on the outside corner for a called strike, and the count moves to 2-1 on Forgione. Portland in the purple tops and the gray pants. Utah Valley in the all-home whites, which we don't typically get to see on a Sunday afternoon ball game. Generally, those are worn on Friday night home games. The 2-1 pitch. That one swung on right back up the middle. Howell going to range to his left. Makes the throw in time for the first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, it's a solid play by Trevor Howell up the middle. It looks easy enough, but that ball had some wicked spin on it, some English.
And so now with 1 out, Brady Kerr will come to the plate. You'll get the lefty-lefty matchup here for these next 2 hitters. Brady Kerr's been on base all 4 of his at-bats today. He has singles up the middle to center twice and a single to left as well. He also walked back in the 6th inning, but now he'll stand in from the left side. Briones ready to go. The first pitch inside and tight with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count. We didn't see Kerr the first 3 games of the series, but I think he's making up for it today with a 3-for-3 with a walk. Briones kicks and delivers this pitch low and in the dirt. A good stop by Willis. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count. We should probably take a look. We do have a couple of scores coming in through the WAC as well, a couple of games that have been going on today. We'll get those to you momentarily here. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Briones set to go from the stretch. Kicks and delivers. That one inside Kerr, and that one, they're going to say hit Kerr, and he'll be awarded first base. They're going to say it just got him kind of right on the elbow guard there, and so Kerr will head down to first on the hit by pitch, and he's been on now in all 5 of his plate appearances today, and that brings up Eric Sapp. Sapp walked in his last at-bat, but had a couple of base hits early on in the game for the Pilots, and that helped bring his batting average up over 200. He came in hitting below 200 before the ball game, and now that shift once again will come on here for Sapp. Briones ready to go, kicks and delivers. That pitch can be grounded right to Grayson Bogdan. They're not going to be able to get the out at second to throw to first in time, and Brady Kerr will move up.
Well, the shift giveth and it taketh away. That was a tailor-made double play ball. But because everyone except the third baseman, Estrada, who was near the third base bag, no one was near the second base bag. So Trevor Howell, or excuse me, Bogdan, was it Bogdan who fielded that one? Bogdan who fielded it. Trevor Howell was to his right, had to run behind him to try to get to the second base bag. Never a chance. And so Bogdan only had the option to go to first base.
I was thinking maybe at first he'd have enough time to just go and apply the tag, but Kerr, the runner over there, Kerr, runs pretty well. So 2 down. Here's Caleb Whalen. He swings and puts this one through the right side for a base hit. Kerr's going to be sent around third. Erlinson's coming up with the throw. It's in on a hop. Gothberg cut it off, and Portland takes a 6-5 lead on an RBI single by Caleb Whalen.
Just a slowly hit ball through the infield, giving Kerr enough time to score from second.
Now you could say there, if Gothberg doesn't cut that off, we have a play at the plate. I don't think that Gothberg cutting that off prevented UVU from getting that out at the plate. I still think Kerr scores because Kerr was already pretty much home. And maybe it makes the play closer, but nonetheless, 6-5 lead for Portland, and that will bring up Cooper Hummel. Hummel a pair of hits today to go along with a pop out to second and a ground out. The wind, the delivery comes home, swung on and missed, and it's no balls and a strike.
Actually, that one fouled back. As that one, I thought it got away from the catcher, but he foul tipped, said Jeff Clough.
2 outs, top of the 8th inning, 6-5 Portland on top of UVU. Pilots trying to even the score in the series at 2 games apiece. Utah Valley trying to take 3 of 4 and win the series. No balls and a strike. The kick and the delivery comes. It'll be fouled up over above us, and the count will go 0-2. You really take a look at this for Utah Valley. If you could have an opportunity to once again come from behind, similarly to the way they did last night, it would give them a lot of momentum heading into this next weekend with Minnesota. And this is really an important stretch of games to build some positive momentum before heading into WAC play.
Speaking of WAC play, South Dakota State and Northern Colorado tied at 6 in the ninth.
2-2 swung on, or 0-2 fouled away.
That game being played in Greeley. Let's see here, Cal Poly and Grand Canyon down in Phoenix, they're scoreless through 6, or just about through 6. Bakersfield, UC Riverside, scoreless, top of the second. And Sacramento and Arizona just underway, bottom of the first inning there.
Sacramento State scored a combined 2 runs in that entire series, Friday and Saturday. And that pitch swung on by Hummel, hit well to left field. That is going to be gone. A 2-run shot just above the extended fence, and it's 8-5 in favor of Portland. The third RBI of the night here for Cooper Hummel, his 3rd hit of the day. And this one, much important, his 2nd home run of the series that has come in the later innings. He hit a home run on Thursday night from the left side of the plate to deep left field. And now Eric Madsen comes out of the dugout and he'll make another pitching change. He'll go to the right-hander here out of the pen. So we'll take a quick break. We'll get the numbers and introduce you to the new pitcher after the break. But it's 8-5 Portland here in the 8th. Cooper Hummel provides the power with a 2-run home run.
Top half of the 8th inning, a 3-run 8th so far for Portland. They lead 8-5. New right-hander in for the Wolverines. It's Logan Hold. Hold has yet to give up an earned run this season. He's 2-0 in 7 appearances. This will be his 7th appearance. He's pitched 13 and 2/3 innings, given up 1 walk, struck out 10. Opponents are only hitting .234. Hold came in game 1 of this series on Friday night. Or rather on Thursday, I beg your pardon. Pitched 5 1/3, gave up 4 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 4. So Hold has been very good early on this year.
Could be maybe, but potentially can't just step into some starting roles after that performance the other night, but the only time will tell.
Hold very comfortable with a breaking ball, so he'll throw that in any count.
First pitch high to Barr with 1 ball and no strikes to count, as we saw the first pitch breaking ball there come over at 75 miles an hour. Barr has grounded out, doubled, struck out, and flew out, so a little bit of everything today for Ryan Barr. And that pitch is in at the knees for a called strike. And the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike here on Ryan Barr.
Take a look, finish up on that out-of-town scoreboard. North Dakota beat St. Louis 7-2. UT Rio Grande Valley took care of Arlington Baptist 13-0.
That ball chopped through the hole into left field for a base hit, so a 2-out hit for Ryan Barr. That's the 14th hit of the ball game for the Pilots, and I tell you, Portland can put up some hits on you.
They have out-hit, as you mentioned, the Wolverines 14-5. So I think the Wolverines have been very fortunate to lead in this ball game and have it tied as long as they have, and Portland has finally broken through. And we talked about this last night. A 3-run lead's a 3-run lead. Anything more than that, it starts to get a lot tougher, it seems like, mentally at least, to come back from.
Very daunting, as the pitch to Hawken is on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. So really, look at the bottom of the 8th inning, you got Brinkerhoff, Estrada, and Kruger coming up. Kruger has all 5 of the RBIs for Utah Valley in this afternoon's ball game. Really, the Wolverines need to come away with a run or two, I would think, in that inning to have an opportunity to kind of get everything going. No balls and 1 strike to count. Ryan Barr, their base runner, over at first. The pickoff move, Barr dives back. Good stop by Gothberg, as that throw was low and in the dirt to keep that in front of him. And now Cody Hawken will step back in with the 0-1 count. Hawken has walked, flown out, walked, and struck out. And singled on the day. Another pickoff move by Hold. The tag applied this time, but he's back underneath the tag. No balls and 1 strike to count. 2 down, top of the 8th inning. 8-5 Portland on top of UVU. Similar situation in last night's game. That one misses, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike, where the Wolverines found a way to come back with a 4-run 9th inning to take the game 9-8. 1 ball and 1 strike to count, as our Jeff Clough puts the count up over his shoulders here for everybody here to see. The 1-1 pitch about to come home. Hold will throw back over. Diving back again is Barr. He's back underneath the tag, and we'll have another 1-1 pitch coming. Hold really concerned over that first with Ryan Barr. We talked about how much in this series Portland is like to run. 1-1 pitch, Barr not going, breaking ball in at the knees, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Portland scoring 1 in the first, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and then 3 here in the 8th. So they just chipped away at that lead. Biggest thing, pickoff move once again. Barr's back safely underneath the tag. The biggest thing the Portland Pilots pitchers did was they started putting up zeros. That was one of the biggest things there. I mean, those runs are important for Portland, but the zeros, I think, almost more important with the way they just kind of chipped back in this. 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back by Hawken. It's 1-2.
Well, you mentioned the Wolverines have not scored since that 3-run third.
Well, just kind of look at this, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in the 8th, Jordan, but Utah Valley 2 for 9 with runners on base, 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position, 2 for 9 with 2 outs in the inning. And it's hard to win a baseball game when you're having a hard time hitting with guys on base and guys in scoring position. 1-2 pitch, swung out and missed. Strike 3, Logan Hold gets the K. The damage is done, though. A 2-run homer by Cooper Hummel extends this lead. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Portland 8, Utah Valley 5. You're watching Wolverine Baseball here on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and we're going to start by having a pinch hitter come in here in the bottom of the 8th inning for Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff has the 3 strikeouts on the day, so we're going to see Ryan Edmondson, number 6, come in to pinch hit. Edmondson has played in a couple of the ball games in the series, especially on Thursday and Friday night. Came in, I believe, last night as well, late in the ball game. The first pitch, a wave with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Edmondson came in that 9th inning as a pinch runner and ultimately scored the winning run last night, so he's getting in at bat here.
Edmondson 6 for 36 on the season, hitting 167. The 1-0 pitch misses away, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. His batting average may be a little misleading to a certain extent because, yeah, he's 6 for 36, but he's also done a great job working counts and taking pitches. The 2-0 pitch misses down low, ball 3. It's 3 balls and no strikes. And sometimes having those good at-bats where you work counts but you just don't get a hit, those don't really show up in your box score. Left-hander a lefty and a right-hander getting loose in the pen for Portland as Edmondson draws a 4-pitch walk here in the 8th. So now that's going to bring up Paul Estrada. Estrada has a pair of walks and a flyout in the ball game today. As it looks like, I believe that's going to be in the bullpen. Richmond, number 25, is one of them. He's the right-hander down there, but he's not throwing. He's just kind of, I think, was just playing catch until the additional catcher down there. That's might be the left-hander Doherty, who we saw yesterday, but I'm not 100% positive. Here's Paul Estrada. Estrada 0 for 1 officially with a pair of walks, shows the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a called strike. It's 0-1 on Estrada. Mark Kruger in the on-deck circle. No balls and a strike to count. Runner gets his lead over at first is Edmondson. Utah Valley fought back in the late innings yesterday as that pitch hits the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
I believe that's Adam Wozniak down there, the lefty, for the Pilots getting loose.
No balls and 2 strikes. The count on Estrada. Whalen playing him to go the other way, shaded him towards right center. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3, foul tipped into the glove, says home plate umpire Jeff Clough for the first out of the 8th inning. Second strikeout of the ball game for Marty Lukenbach, and now here comes Mark Kruger. Kruger with a couple of hits earlier in the ball game, a 2-run single in the first to bring home the 2 runs for Utah Valley, and then in the third provided a little bit of pop with a 3-run homer to right. All 5 RBIs scored by Utah Valley off the bat of Mark Kruger, and the pitch misses low with the fastball, 1 ball and no strikes to count. Jesse Emery in the on-deck circle for the Wolverines. Kruger will take a look down in the third base coach's box. Once again, the shift not quite as on here with the runner on at first. The 1-0 pitch misses low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Kruger. You still have Whalen in center field playing way deep in the right center field gap. So a lot of green out there in left center field if Kruger was to be able to line one pretty hard out there into left center field. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Lukenbach working from the stretch, looks in, gets the sign from Kerr. And now they're going to time call as Kruger steps out of the box.
Look how deep the center fielder, Caleb Whalen, is playing in right center field. Maybe a couple 10 feet in front of the track. That's a deep part of the ballpark out there.
Here's the pitch, and Kruger takes this one right to center. Whalen coming in. It's going to fall in front of him for a base hit. Edmondson will have to hold very sharply at second, and the Wolverines have a couple of men on here in the 8th inning. Third hit of the day for Mark Kruger, and Jesse Emery comes to the plate.
So it turns out that's exactly, they were playing him perfectly right there. Kruger just drops one in front of Whalen.
I thought at first when Kruger hit that, I thought it was going to hang for Whalen, and you saw Whalen put the glove up to try to get Edmondson to kind of go back to the bag, but it fell right in front of him, and now Jesse Emery will come to the plate. It's a big at bat for Emery. Emery out of Draper, Utah, was on the club last year, but I believe redshirted. It's his second year on the roster. Out of Alta High School. Stands in here. Emery is 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and his last at bat he flew out to right. Has swung at the first pitch a couple of times today. We'll see if he looks to work the count here. First pitch misses low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Last night's ball game in a similar situation, we saw the Portland pitching staff start to have a hard time finding the strike zone. We'll see if today maybe the Pilots pitching staff might pitch it a little bit different. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Runners get their leads at first and second. The 1-0 pitch. Emery swings and fouls this one back up over us, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 9th inning, Portland will send up Kevin Farley, Dan Whitaker, Michael Forgione. 2 pitchers up now in the bullpen for the Pilots. I would think that Jeff Loomis would have a pretty quick hook after last night. That pitch high with the fastball, and it's 2-1. The count now on Emery. So Jesse Emery's worked the count to get himself into a pretty good hitter's position here. Emery only hitting 188 on the season, but that's only 3 hits and 16 at-bats. So not a huge number there to really think about what that batting average would equal. 2-1 pitch about to come in, and Emery checked his swing and fouls it away. And it's 2-2.
That right-hander down there is Richmond. Saw him last night. The sidewinder.
So the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes after the check swing foul by Jesse Emery. Edmondson the runner at second, Kruger the runner at first. The 2-2 pitch off the plate, ball 3, and the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Portland walked quite a few hitters in that the 9th inning last night to really kind of help set up Utah Valley. So something interesting to kind of see, because we'll take a look and see, because Utah Valley now with that confidence saying, hey, we can win late in the ball game. Something here that could potentially come into play here. Ready to go, the 3-2 pitch on its way home. Emery takes, called strike 3, low and inside, and that is a called strike 3 for the second out of the inning. 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Lukenbach, and with 2 outs, Spencer Gothberg comes to the plate. That one was just, it looks like, right around the knees, and now we're gonna have a visit out to the mound from Kerr out to have a quick conversation with Lukenbach, and I think this might just be a chance to stall and let Richmond and the left-hander down there in the bullpen get loose, but maybe a tough 3rd strike call from there for if you're Jesse Emery. May have been maybe a little bit low, maybe a little bit on the inside corner as well, but nonetheless it was pretty close. The right-hander begins to loosen the UVU bullpen. Here's Spencer Gothberg. Gothberg 0 for 2 on the day with a walk, popped out to second and flew out to right. There'd be a time for a clutch hit from the senior. You'd like to see it right now. Working from the stretch, here's the delivery home. Pitch comes inside, good stop by Kerr, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Justin Erlinson in the on-deck circle for the Wolverines. Has had a good series here against Portland. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Big hole gap out into left center field. Whalen once again shading Gothberg to go into right center field. It's almost just been where Whalen set up all series long. 1-0 pitch misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Whalen with good speed, so he can run gap to gap pretty well, but boy, I don't know, that's 427 out there in deep left center field. That is running a bit of a risk. If one was ever able to get out there, you could run for a while. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Lukenbach ready to go from the stretch. delivers the 2-1 pitch. That's going to go to center field, but it's going to be ran down by Farley just on the outfield grass to end the 8th inning. So the Wolverines get a couple of base runners on base, but the side ends. They strand 2. We head to the 9th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 8, Utah Valley 5. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Start of the top of the 9th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University. The Wolverines will make a pitching change. They'll bring in the right-hander, the junior out of Riverton, Utah, and Riverton High School. Matt Davidson will come in out of relief. Davidson on the season, making his 3rd appearance, 3 innings, 2 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which have been earned, has walked 4 and no strikeouts. Opponents aren't just hitting 167 off of him, so Davidson having a very good start to his season. Another defensive change, Ryan Edmondson hit for Craig Brinkerhoff in the bottom of the inning, and now he'll come into left field. Davidson will kick and deliver the first pitch, and Farley swings and fouls it back. And to take us the rest of the way, hopefully with another come-from-behind victory by the Wolverines, Jordan Bianucci. Jordan?
We will see. Strike 1 after the foul back to the screen. Farley, the right-handed hitter, waits. Davidson from the windup. Swung on, hammer, left field. Back there, deep! It's gone! Out of the entire ballpark, into the fountain beyond left field. They're calling it foul. I think that was a fair ball, Ryan. I don't know how you tell. That was hit so high that that ball was absolutely crushed. And where it crossed the fence, beyond left field, there's a berm, and then the fence that separates the rest of campus from the actual ballpark. That ball crossed the second fence, it seemed like, in fair territory, and the foul poles here are not all that tall. That ball was absolutely smashed. I thought that was gone.
Similar to the one Colton Shaver hit here last year for BYU.
0-2 curveball hit them, but he didn't get out of the way.
Yeah, he leaned in with that front foot, and he just kind of leaned into that breaking ball. Probably a little frustrated after the home run, wanted to get on base, and home plate umpire Jeff Clough says, nope, get back in the box.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was a fair ball. It appeared fair from up in the booth, but Jeff Clough has a much better angle than we do. Now Dave Carter is going to head out to the mound because after 3 pitches, Davidson has given up a foul ball that was hit about 600 feet, and he's hit a guy. So if you think this may be a good sign for the Wolverines, those 2 things have happened, and the count's 1-2.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's the hard part too. I mean, let's give Kevin Farley some sort of credit. That's hard to hit a ball that far, have it go foul, and have to get back in the box. Then you get hit by a pitch on your way to first base. You're told, no, you didn't get out of the way. I mean, it's a tough at-bat all the way around the board, but Matt Davidson very fortunate in a case that he's ahead in the count 1-2, but now you have to go into attack mode. You have to finish the batter.
So Farley steps back in there. Davidson working from the windup with the bases empty. Portland leads Utah Valley 8-5 in the top of the 9th. 1-2. Curveball swung on, hit high. This one well foul. Again, this one's going to travel completely out of the ballpark. Count remains at 1-2.
That's one thing I've noticed maybe in this series more than other series that we've had in early March here at Brent Brown Ballpark. And I think some of it's the weather's a little more warmer. The ball's jumping off the bat most of the time anyway, we should say. There's been a couple times it's been different, but
Especially during day baseball, as you said, when the temperature is higher. Breaking ball misses away, and the count is even at 2-2. The shift on, Trevor Howell, the second baseman, to the left of the second base bag. Bogdan at short, pulled way into the hole. The outfield straight away, though. Now time is taken as a ball gets away from the Wolverine bullpen.
that is the one advantage I do see to having the bullpens not necessarily on the field. You don't have to worry about that, but it's kind of nice, though, to have those bullpens on the field. It kind of feels,
Adds character to the ballpark.
yeah.
Although it can get a little dangerous if you're trying to field a ball in foul territory. 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses away, and the count runs full. Farley is 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. He doubled in a run back in the 4th inning. Portland came back in the top half of the 8th with 3 runs to take an 8-5 lead. This one chopped foul, third base side. Count remains full. Waiting on deck is Dan Whitaker. Whitaker has not had an at-bat in this ball game. He came in as a defensive replacement back in the 7th inning. He's a right-handed hitter. Davidson just trying to keep this lead at 3 for the Pilots to give his club a chance in the bottom of the 9th. This one hammered to center field, left center. It's going to hang up there for Kruger deep in the left center alleyway. He reaches up and makes the grab, and there's one away. So Farley hit the ball very hard and very far, probably about 390 plus feet, but it's 427 to left center field, and it's an easy out. One away for Dan Whitaker.
And that really just becomes, I mean, a long fly ball, that just becomes an out. And a lot of ballparks, that's off the wall or a double. Some ballparks that are short, that's a home run. But
First pitch to Whitaker, misses down low. It's 1-0. Whitaker hitting from the right side, hitting 188 on the year. He's only had 16 at-bats. 3 hits in those 16 at-bats, 2 RBIs, no home runs. Slightly open stance, bent at the knees. The 1-0 curveball's in there for a strike. The infield straight away. Now Bogdan moves into the hole, and they're going to shift with the count at 1-1. And that can kind of give you a hint if you're the hitter of what kind of pitch is coming, maybe an off speed. The pitch right there on the outside corner at 83 miles an hour, and it's 1-2. That didn't look to have any break on it, but well, it didn't have that fastball velocity either. Davidson looking sharp thus far in this at bat. Bases empty, 1 out. 8-5 Pilots, top of the 9th. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He pulled the string. Changeup. Got him swinging. First strikeout for Davidson, and he retires the first 2 hitters. He'll bring up Michael Forgione with the bases empty and 2 gone. Forgione singled in a run back in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 4. He bounced out to the second baseman, but to the left side. The shift was on, as it is now. Back in the 8th inning. The pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. Called for a strike. In the 9th for Utah Valley, it'll be 9-1-2. That's Justin Erlinson, Trevor Howell, and Zach Willis. 0-1, swung on, grounded to third, right down the line. Estrada stops it, throws to first for the out, and the inning is over. So, Portland goes down 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Wolverines. Can they do it again and come back from a deficit of 8-5? We'll find out here on WolverineGreen.com. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball.
Bottom of the ninth inning, as it seems like to just change the night today, and we're in the exact same situation. An 8-5 game here in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Portland Pilots will go down to their closer, number 29, Billy Salinger, a senior out of Bellevue, Washington, and Newport High School. Salinger came into the ballgame last night and struggled. And he'll come in tonight to try to redeem himself, as Salinger on the year's 0-1 with making his 8th appearance. He's got 5 saves, 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 148 off him, and Jordan, his ERA is at 5.87, so it should be an interesting situation here.
First pitch fastball from Solinger, misses inside. Showing bunt was Justin Erlinson, the right-handed hitter. Solinger, you mentioned struggle last night. He blew the save, came in the 8th inning. 1-0 pitch, curveball misses away, 2-0. Pitched okay in the 8th inning. In the 9th, he lost his release point, could not find the plate, threw a ball behind Spencer Gothberg, ended up hitting 2 batters. Now it's 2-0, the pitch. Erlinson takes it inside, a breaking ball, and it's 3-0. So, again, just as you said, Ryan, if it were not light outside, you would think we were dreaming. This is exactly almost how it was last night. The Wolverines trail by 3 in the bottom of the 9th, 3-0 to Erlinson, who will almost certainly be taking. He does. Pretty good pitch there. Maybe just missed off the inside, but ball 4, and the leadoff man is on, and here we go again.
And you see immediately Kerr coming out, Forgione going, saying, hey, it's okay, don't worry. Because you think of it, if you're Solinger, you're looking, he probably thinks the same thing we are. Okay, 3-run lead, trying to finish this ball game out, safe situation. And you think of it, his psychologically, there's got to be something after walking this batter going, oh, am I going to lose it again?
Well,
so, I mean, hopefully not. If you're Portland, if you're UVU, just try to string together some hits right now.
Here's the pitch to the true leadoff man, Hal. Curveball falls in there nicely for a strike. As a closer, Solinger, you have to have a short memory. The man at first base is Erlinson, being held on. The pitch. Swing and a line drive foul down the left field line. Out in front of the breaking ball again was Howell. So far we haven't seen Solinger throw a whole lot of fastballs. The tying run still in the on-deck circle. 0-2 pitch. Swing lifted high but shallow right field. Coming over near the foul line is Barr. He will make the grab. Just a weak pop-up, and there's one away in the 9th. So Zach Willis will come up with a man on. The Wolverines still trailing by 3. Willis was the hero last night. He knocked in the game-winning run, part of a 4-run 9th inning for the Wolverines. The Wolverines walked off. Willis, 2 hits today. He's 2 for 4. The pitch, curveball, right there. Strike 1. Grayson Bogdan, the man on deck. Willis, a right-handed hitter, even stance. Salinger working from the stretch. Peering in, now comes set, chest high. He throws. 0-1 curveball, misses in. And it's 1-1. The outfield pretty much straight away, middle deep. The infield pulled to the left. The second baseman shaded up the middle. Big hole on the right side as Sapp is holding the runner on. 1-1, swung on and fouled back to the backstop. And the count is 1-2. Salinger's really throwing nothing except changeups and curveballs. We have not seen his fastball. He also has a little slider he'll mix in. He wants a new baseball from Jeff Clough. He gets one. Wolverines down to their final 2 outs. Erlinson with a short lead at first base. I'm kind of surprised they're even holding him on over there. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He waved at a curveball. Strike 3. And Portland is 1 out away from winning this ball game. Nice curveball on the outside corner from Solinger. Willis out on his front foot, and here comes Grayson Bogdan, the Wolverines' last shot.
And really, to take a look at that curveball, it looked like it was really going to be right on that outer half, and that just does exactly what it's supposed to do. Curves right off it. Easy chase there as a hitter.
The Wolverines need more base runners. The pitch to Bogdan. Misses low and away. Another curveball. 1-0. The infield playing Bogdan to Poole. Shaded slightly to left field in center is Caleb Whalen. Bogdan hitting .316 on the year. Wolverines trail by 3. Fastball comes up and in. I say a fastball again. I think it's a breaking ball that just didn't break. And it's 2-0 to Bogdan. So Solinger's fallen behind hitters in this inning. However, he's been able to battle back against 2 of them. He walked the leadoff man. He has since gotten Hal to pop up and Willis to strike out. 2-0 pitch to Bogdan. He swings, line drive, down the third base line. Fair. It'll roll into the corner. Playing the carom is Hawken. Holding it third is Erlinson, and Bogdan's in there with a double, and that will bring the tying run to the plate. That was a rope down the third base line, just past the glove of the diving Dan Whitaker. He almost backhanded it. Could have gone to first to end the game, but just a few inches past the fingers of that glove, and it gets a lot stickier for Billy Solinger.
Now, one favorable matchup you have this righty versus lefty in situation for Utah Valley. That's a good situation to be in, to have the lefty Edmondson up at the plate here.
If they wanted to, if Edmondson was really that big of a worry, they could put him on first base. I can't imagine they would put it in the tying run on first willingly. Paul Estrada waits on deck.
And they definitely don't want to take any chances of getting past Estrada with Mark Kruger in that 6th spot.
So the left-handed hitter, I should say, Ryan Edmondson, who pinch hit just last inning and coaxed a walk, comes to the plate. Eric Matson comes in from the third base coaching box, has a word with him. Now we're ready to go. Bogdan at second, Edmondson at third, the tying run at the plate. First pitch curveball misses away. 1-0. The outfield straight away and deep. The infield straight away as well. Playing about even with the bag and pulled about 25 feet actually off the third base bag is Whitaker. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. He was out in front of the curveball. Nice break, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The bullpen deserted for Portland. It's all up to Billy Solinger, the true closer for the Pilots. 8-5, the Wolverines trail in the bottom of the 9th. 2 men on, 2 men out. The 1-1. Check swing. He did not go around. Ball down low, and it's 2-1. Edmondson on the year has had 36 at-bats, 6 hits, no home runs, 8 RBIs. Looking to extend this ball game. 2-1 pitch. Down low, nice block by Brady Kerr, but the count's 3-1. Paul Estrada, the right-handed hitter, the freshman waiting on deck. Three balls, 1 strike. The count to Edmondson. We really haven't seen Solinger throw a fastball. Let's see what he comes with here. Down low. Breaking ball missed. The bases are loaded. So Edmondson pinch hit last inning. He ends up with 2 walks. He is the tying run at first base. Good speed. If you remember, Edmondson last night came in as a pinch hitter who ultimately scored the winning run. He is the tying run at first base today. Bases juiced. And here's Paul Estrada.
Which means now you have to be really careful, because a ball in the gap or even down the right field line can tie this ball game right here with the good speed on the base pass. We're going to see Greg Swenson come out and have a word here with Estrada. What you don't want to do if you're Portland is any sort of walk or anything. you don't want to take a chance of having to face Mark Kruger. With the day Kruger's having, that's the last thing you want.
They may not let him face Kruger. Wozniak, the lefty, is running down to the bullpen to get loose and trying to quickly. As you mentioned, Swenson, the pitching coach for Portland, out on the mound, having a word with Billy Solinger, who is just, well, it hasn't been a relaxing weekend for Billy. A tough night last night, blew the save, and right now the bases are loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. The winning run at the plate, the tying run at first base in the form of Ryan Edmondson.
You got a good hitter in Estrada. I mean, he had some good swings today during batting practice, but he's a hitter that works count, and he'll probably try to get into a favorable hitter's count, 2-1, 3-1, probably a fastball count right here for Estrada. So that should be a good situation for Utah Valley to have Estrada at the plate.
He's walked twice and scored a run. He's 0 for 2 otherwise. The pitch to him. Outside. And if you're the Wolverines and you hear the fans clapping, that's what you like to see from Solinger. That's not close. That was a foot outside. And obviously Solinger has no confidence in that fastball right now. He has not thrown it this inning. Even stance from the right side. Estrada waving that bat. Now the pitch. It's behind him to the backstop. 1 run will come in to score. Now the tying run will advance to second base. Unbelievable. Solinger unleashed one. He threw one behind Estrada.
We saw that last night in the 9th inning, and now, Jordan, the dangers of that is now you put Edmondson on second, which means a base hit. He has a very good chance to score to tie this ball game.
Bogdan at third, Edmondson at second, 2-0, and if you ever gave Estrada the take sign, it would be now. First pitch missed well out of the strike zone, low and away. Second pitch went behind Estrada. 2-0, up and in. Turning away from it, trying to avoid getting hit, he does, is Estrada. It's 3-0. The left-handed hitting Mark Kruger waits on deck. Paul Estrada is at the plate, and Paul Kruger plays football. 3-0. Solinger from the stretch, peering in, dancing off third is Bogdan. The pitch, curveball, falls in there for a strike on the inside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike to Estrada. He'll be sitting dead red. Edmondson, great speed at second. He's the tying run. Can the Wolverines do it again? Can they come back? They trail 8-6, bottom of the 9th. 2 men on, 2 men out. 3-1 pitch, curveball, just catches the inside corner, and the count is full. Why not?
It's one of those situations you can't be too picky here if you're Estrada as a ball comes in from the bullpen. You have to get a pitch 3-2. You have to swing at anything close, in my opinion. If you let it go and it's a called strike 3, not the way you want to end it.
The wind blowing in from right field. Everybody straight away defensively for Portland. Full count. The runners will be on the move. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Estrada slams his bat down in disgust, but Solinger gets through it. Portland sighs a sigh of relief, and they win the ball game 8-6. The Wolverines threaten in the 9th, but not enough to come back again. Too much to ask. And Portland takes game 4, and the Wolverines and Pilots split this 4-game series. They'll line up at home plate and shake hands. We'll take a break here and come back with the final totals after this. Once again, the final score, Wolverines fall to the Pilots 8-6. We'll be back after this. Back here on WolverineGreen.com, Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens. UVU falls to Portland in Game 4 of this 4-game series by a final of 8-6, and part of it came down to, Ryan, was UVU put themselves in a hole and just couldn't quite dig themselves back out of it once again tonight, or rather this afternoon.
Well, we saw this last night. We saw them get behind, and they were able to find a way to come back at the end and come out and win a game in the bottom of the ninth. It's just not a good habit to get into and playing from behind. Some teams play really well from behind. And I mean, you have to learn how to play from behind and play with the lead and kind of every
Those are the only two ways you can play, unless it's tied.
And tied. So all three of those, you have to kind of learn how to play in those situations. The problem that comes in, Jordan, if you make a habit from playing from behind, something like this is going to happen where you don't come up with that hit, and then all of a sudden you're going to end up losing some games. And I mean, tonight, we saw them do it last night. They didn't quite do it tonight. Still a good team making kind of some strides. And, that's what non-conference play is for. Again, I've said it last year, and I'll say it again. The WAC's probably not getting an at-large bid to an NCAA regional, so you're really playing for one spot. But these games really do kind of help prepare you for the WAC play, and that's the important thing.
Well, it comes down to pitching for the Wolverines as well. They end up giving up 8 runs on 14 hits, and you're not going to win a lot of ball games giving up that many runs. Danny Bettis, he didn't pitch all that poorly. However, he is left with a no decision. Bettis, just looking at his line, he went 5 1/3, gave up 3 earned runs. That's not a bad outing at all. In fact, that could lead to a win, really. To look here, the win actually goes to Marty Luckenbach. He goes to 3-0. Marco Briones takes the tough loss. He will fall to 1-1, and Solinger gets the well-earned save in a stressful 9th inning for the Portland closer. Coming up, what's on tap for UVU is a 3-game series starting this Friday, a 6 p.m. start here at Brent Brown Ballpark with the University of Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, coming into Oregon, a Big Ten opponent, and hopefully we'll have some great crowds out and some good ball games. UVU has faced Minnesota once already this season and lost down in Surprise, Arizona, so they'll look to get back on track this Friday.
And that's going to be a key series for Utah Valley. That's your last non-conference weekend series before you have to play Grand Canyon. It's an opportunity. You're going to face a team that has some really good arms, that's a really good Division I, from a good Division I conference in the Big Ten. Not the top echelon of college baseball, the Big Ten, but they're still going to have some good recruits. That was a good Minnesota team that went down to that same tournament down in Surprise that UVU went into. It's going to be good. Utah Valley has, I think, some things. They have some question marks heading into that series. Pitching staff. Who's going to step up and
who's going to start Friday?
Who's going to start?
Spot's still really open for
Friday,
the Wolverines.
Saturday, Sunday. Who's going to be those guys? You don't want to go into conference play without having some sort of a plan. You don't really want to have to be determined and then make the decision at the hotel, when we get on the 24th down to Grand Canyon.
I don't think that'll be a problem. Looking at the final totals, Portland with 8 runs on 14 hits, no errors. Utah Valley 6 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors in the field. The time of the ball game was 3 hours and 32 minutes. 342 people came out to Brent Brown to see the Game 4, the finale, I should say, of this 4-game set. It was a beautiful day for baseball. Unfortunately, the Wolverines can't get the victory. So, for my partner Ryan Pickens, I say so long from Brent Brown Ballpark for now. We'll talk to you Friday as Minnesota comes in to UVU. Once again, the final, Utah Valley falls to 9-9 as they lose to Portland by a final of 8-6.
This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.